Kevin, how long do ads need to be?
60 seconds.
60 seconds on Blue Apron, no problem. That's right, there's no ad in the teleprompter. My name's Greg Miller, and I use Blue Apron. They sponsored the show today. You need to go there. Why do I use Blue Apron? Legitimately, because I love it. Look, eyes closed, there's no teleprompter. I am not paid. Oh, I'm paid to say this, but I'm not paid to use it, and I use it all the time. Blue Apron, of course, ships you pre-packaged ingredients. They send them to you. You open the box up. You take them out. You go to step by step. They give you a little checklist. They come on nice card stock, too, which I like. And then you can save them with where I put all my other recipe books. You save them over there. You pull them out when you want to use them. You follow step-by-step instructions. You put it all together. You make an amazing meal in 30, 45 minutes, depending on what exactly they're sending you. Now, again, I use Blue Apron. This is legitimately the Blue Apron app where it's asking me to rate my latest deliveries. Stir-fried beef and broccoli, 5 stars. It was amazing. Now, here's where it gets interesting, right? Mushroom and red rice casserole. Kevin, does that sound like something I'd like?
No.
I liked it. I'm going to tell you right now. I'm giving it 4 stars. Then salmon and honey glazed carrots. Here's the thing. NA didn't do it. NA didn't do it because, like, here's the thing with Blue Apron, of course. You get the food sent to you. If you want to make it into their dish, great. If you don't, freeze it, use it later, whatever. I think I ran out of time that week. I froze it. Now Jen and I got some salmon there ready to go. Now I'm going to read the one part that I have to read. Blue Apron is treating GameOverGreggy listeners to their first dinner a $30 value if you visit blueapron.com/Greggy. So check out this week's menu and get $30 off your first order with free shipping at blueapron.com/Greggy. Blue Apron, a better way to cook. Now hold on, Kevin. Let me tell you what else I got coming up here. You can cut the ad if you want. You can do whatever you want. I know people want a show here. There you go. This week, guess what's coming tomorrow? Shrimp and bucatini pasta. Then I got sauteed beef and kale rice. Looking forward to that one. And then kale and ricotta tarts. Who do you think picked that one? Geneviève Saint-Onge did. We'll see how that turns. I don't know. Also, I subscribe. What? Yeah, Geneviève Saint-Onge Miller. I also subscribe to Blue Apron's Wine Club, and I pay out of pocket for that one. Like, I mean, I didn't even get a blueapron.com/Greggy thing for that. I just like wine, and I like Blue Apron. I bought the cookbook because Cool Greg sent me a link saying they were putting out a cookbook. Blue Apron, send me a shirt. I'm a big fan. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Game Over Greggy Show. I'm one of your hosts, Greg Miller, alongside the producer/seducer in white, Nick Scarpino.
You guys are all messing up. You got to wear white. It refracts light.
If I wear white,
cooler.
all you will see are my breasts.
I love
and
your
that's
breasts.
why I don't do it.
Why do you shame your own body? You have beautiful
I'm just letting you know, I know what I look good in.
Beautiful breasts. Beautiful C cup. It's gorgeous.
As you know, I'm very self-conscious of my body, and I don't want to wear t-shirts that draw attention to it.
I just feel like maybe you should go out on a limb and be like, fuck it, do some stuff without your shirt.
Yeah, you think
just
so?
Fuck it, you know what I mean?
There's this Spider-Man I've seen on the internet recently shirtless, and he really inspires me.
To get the Spider-Man thing
He's a hero.
It started, baby! This is going live weeks later. Trust me, you've seen a lot of Spider-Man at this point. Funhouse Zone. Bruce.
Hello.
Greene.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks for being here.
It's been an absolute pleasure all day.
It's been hot. I feel bad it's so hot.
Oh, it's not your fault. It's California. California's just hot right now.
You're
That's
just
no big deal.
you're the nicest.
You are.
You know what I mean?
What? Why? I thought Tim was
you-
the nicest.
No.
Cool Tim.
No,
Cool Tim.
Cool Tim's not.
Tim ranks as almost last on my monster list. I just wanted you to know that.
Okay, all right.
Which makes him kind of nice, but he's still a monster.
Still a monster.
I'm second to last. The only person less of a monster than me is Joey.
That's true.
And
You're
just
technically-
he forgot about Cool Greg.
Yeah, you're technically you're third to last.
Cool
'cause
Greg's
Cool Greg would be
an angel.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Cool Greg
insulting
is
to
an
bring
angel.
Cool Greg
He's
up in the
beautiful.
monster talk because you know Cool Greg is the farthest from a monster.
Thank you, Greg.
Did Cool
problem.
Greg introduce himself to you as Cool Greg when he?
No,
He said Greg.
He just said Greg.
Yeah.
Which is
Really?
fine. That's okay.
That is not okay.
But I knew who he was when I said, hi, I'm Bruce, and he said, hi, I'm Greg. I thought to myself, cool Greg. Because I knew.
Yeah, everybody knows Cool Greg.
I heard Cool Greg singing Backstreet Boys earlier
was.
today.
What?
And I thought to myself,
That's not very cool.
We're getting to him.
Yeah.
We're changing
We're
him. And then I got
definitely
sad.
bringing him not cool anymore.
Yeah,
Good.
I got sad. I was like, we're ruining this perfect boy.
No, you're
He's
not.
A perfect
No,
Yeah.
you're not.
boy.
You're making it better.
No, he's so Bruce. You don't spend time. He's cool on another level that I've never been. He knows things about the night that I'll never know about the night.
About the night.
You know, like he just does. Like he hangs out in behind trees and shit. And I'm like, oh, cool.
Well,
Hangs out behind
Exactly.
trees.
I don't know, Tim. I don't know. I don't know what it means.
today there was quite the left turn in conversation where there was a mistake in the lunch ordering. Cool Greg's food didn't come.
Oh, yeah.
You said something to
bad.
the effect of, I'm worried about him becoming a latchkey kid. To which I was like, man, what an old person thing to say. And then before I could even formulate the thought that there's like no way Cool Greg will understand this, Cool Greg blurts out, latchkey kids? I read that book in jail. and then we were all done. Tim inhaled the tortilla chip and died.
So hard that I like fucked up and swallowed spit the wrong way and just was choking for the next like 5 minutes. That shit sucked.
He's so
but
good.
Good Lord, that's funny.
He's so fucking
He's an
good.
enigma.
Oh,
He is an enigma for
God,
sure.
really
Also, was
is.
he in jail?
He was in jail. He was in jail.
Oh, yeah.
That's how
Cool Greg's
he
lived.
is.
Cool Greg's
That is
lived.
really cool.
Cool Greg and the law, they don't get along, man. They're never going to see eye to eye, but it's okay. That's what's cool about it.
A Cool Greg
really
in
cool.
jail story.
Yeah, lay it
That, I
on
mean,
me.
I can't see a reason why I wouldn't be able to say
You can
this.
ask him real quick.
No, I mean, I think it's fine. There's nothing
Cool
bad
Greg
about
Fellow-
killed the prison guard.
Cool Greg's story in prison. Fellow inmates whipped him with bars of
this.
soap.
You might remember a story
Full
from
Metal Jacket.
from about 10 years ago where a San Francisco man stole a koala from the zoo to give to his girlfriend.
Yeah.
Do you remember this?
No.
I
believe
I
you.
mean, it sounds
No, this was
strange
like
enough
all
to be
over the
true,
news because it
sure.
was like, what the fuck?
I believe you.
And yeah, my brother, when he was in jail with the koala guy.
Oh,
I was hoping he was going to be part of the koala scheme or something.
No.
Yeah. Cool Greg like made a hollowed out wheelchair.
And then snuck the koala into the prison?
Hit a koala.
Why would the... See, where does that go? Why?
That's how they got him out of the zoo.
No, yeah,
They put
hollowed
him-
out a wheelchair. They put the koala in the wheelchair
Yeah.
and then rolled him out.
What part of
Exactly.
the wheelchair do you hollow out?
That's where I was going to go a little bit different. Is I was going to say hollowed out wheelchair. They put the koala in the seat and then put like grandmother glasses on it, and a little
Like
granny
Weekend at
wig,
Bernie's,
and
the
then
Weekend at
just
Bernie's.
rolled them out.
He hit in the hollowed out.
I don't know why it was hollowed. They were just worried about it weighing too much.
got it.
You know?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I do.
Chlamydia.
Koala is a lot heavier.
They do have
than that.
They have
chlamydia. They do have
STDs. Yeah, they
chlamydia.
do.
That is a big
Yeah.
part of it. That is a big part
But
of
that's
it.
a true story. He was like, I remember him telling me, he was like, yeah, and there's this guy, because he told me how everyone else that he was around got in. And he just casually brought up, yeah, this dude stole a koala. And like, my brother wouldn't know that story. But I was like, you were with that guy?
He's famous.
That guy's fucking
He's like
famous.
he's
Let me
like
ask you
Bonnie
this,
and
though.
Clyde. He's Bonnie and Clyde is the koala.
When you think about someone who steals a koala from the zoo,
Yeah.
do you think that person should be punished with jail time? Does that resonate as like, yeah, that's a total terrible offense, or is that kind of like,
should just-
that's kind of fucking
they should do
funny, right? Like, should he go to
community-
jail for that?
Well, I mean, I'm
For his
pretty
girlfriend,
sure
like, isn't that adorable?
There's a couple things here.
It's
One,
cute, sure.
It's like he's trying to steal a
STDs.
fucking
Yeah,
tiger.
But
and,
you're
like,
not-
unleash it on
I'm
people.
pretty sure it's like extinct or like gonna be extinct. It's on some list. I guarantee it.
There's
Koalas are
3
not on a
billion
list.
I'm not sure if they are. You're just not
Koala's
supposed to,
on a list.
You're not supposed to fuck with them. I know that.
They're the raccoons
Don't
of
fuck with them.
Australia.
Can you get Kevin? Can I get chlamydia from a koala?
Yes.
100%.
If you touch one, yes. 100%.
Really?
You have to let it. You have to touch it
It's
in
anal.
its pink part, though.
I don't think so. I think it's just
Oh, it's gonna be a show. What's up, everybody? If you didn't know, you're watching the Game Over Greggy
Sorry,
show
Bruce.
each and every week.
Although
4.
not listed as endangered.
Sometimes 5 best friends gather around this table, each bring a random topic discussion for your amusement. If you like that, head over to patreon.com/kindafunny, where you can get each and every episode early. How early, Nick?
You could be watching it right now with us, like so many people are out there in the chat. Hey guys.
You could also watch it, of course, on Friday on patreon.com/kindafunny, where we put it up as a video and an MP3 for people supporting early. But if you have no bucks to toss our way, no big deal. Head over to youtube.com/kindafunny, where you can get the show broken up topic by topic, day by day, until it goes live as one big MP3 and video.
There it is.
We are now reading the story here by Jackson
The Arrest of
Van
Youth.
der Becken.
Stolen koala caper ends with the rest of you.
That was the one that Cool Greg knew.
Yeah, he knew that. He knew that.
Now,
you.
did the guy who stole this koala get chlamydia from it?
go down, Kevin?
Do you
Let's-
think that
let's see
person
what
that's
this-
holding the koala has chlamydia?
He wore a condom when he stole the koala. All right. I'm telling you, man, if you could just domesticate a koala, you'd be making money. You'd be making some bank.
Oh yeah, if you could sell the koala.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think
Yeah.
it's domesticatable though, is it?
I don't know.
No, it's not.
I mean,
They sleep
that's-
for like 14 hours a day.
That's what they said
the
about wiener dogs.
raccoon. Or are sloths domesticatable? Can you domesticate a sloth? Because I want pet sloth.
probably.
Right? What the fuck are they
Why
gonna
couldn't
do?
you?
I
Yeah.
don't know.
It's gonna get angry and
hang out on
slowly try
Ellens
to
all the
scratch
time.
you. What's that?
Yeah.
They hang out on Ellen.
Yeah.
Ellen always has.
I'm bitter
sloths.
because Alexis went to Costa Rica and she
hang out
went
with
to the
those
sloth
sloths?
preserve, and I went to Costa Rica and I didn't get to go because my wife was like, it's too far, and I would rather sit by a pool.
we went to Australia, and there was koalas there, but we didn't get to go see them.
We did.
You guys did.
We,
Are they-
I went
But
and
then
took
didn't you
pictures.
miss out on seeing something? There was some animal that you guys didn't get to hang out with.
Kangaroo?
I mean, well, we didn't see any kangaroos other than in the zoo. So
Yeah.
we saw kangaroos. There was a giant crocodile we saw.
Oh, fuck, that's
it was
scary.
fucking awesome.
Those things are scary.
And like I took a picture next to the koala. Lawrence was right next to them.
Yeah.
I
He's
don't
not afraid of chlamydia.
I don't think he got it. I think he may have already had it.
Can we call
Yeah.
Lawrence right now and see if he has ever had chlamydia
Call him,
and
yeah.
if is he communicable?
Let's find out.
Okay.
Let's find
I
out.
feel like somebody would have known that by now.
I feel like Lawrence would probably know,
He
right?
wouldn't
Doesn't
tell
it
us.
hurt? Doesn't
No.
it burn
Lawrence
or
wouldn't tell
something?
He wouldn't say, "Hey guys, I have chlamydia." Hold on. Let's find out.
Okay.
I mean, like
Let's
with the
see.
kind of content you guys make, he might. Bring it up to the microphone. You got it. Yeah. Yeah. Check it up. Is that a
Don't show his
pixel?
phone number though.
Show the phone number. Who cares? The kids are good. I'll give out
He
Tim's
may
number
not
right
pick
now.
up because he may be recording
415.
right now.
Okay.
Oh, they interrupted our
You-
recording, but we can't interrupt their
Leave
recording.
a message and tell him that Nick from Kind of Funny wants to know if he has now, currently, or has ever had chlamydia.
You got it.
And if he has, follow-up question, did he get it from a koala bear?
Done. I can ask all those questions.
Hi, this is the number for Lawrence Sontag. I'm sorry I couldn't answer your call, but I'm
Sontag, huh? Wouldn't have guessed that.
Please leave a
Sontag.
message. Thank you.
Wouldn't have guessed that.
Lawrence Sontag. Hey, Lawrence, this is Bruce. I'm recording right now with Nick, Tim, Greg over Kind of Funny, and Nick had a question about chlamydia. He wanted to see if you had chlamydia, and if you do, did you get it from the
Did you
koala
get it from koala bear?
in Australia? What?
Yeah. Yep. You got it.
Did I
Nailed
get it? Okay.
Yeah, you did it. Thanks,
Please call
Bruce.
us back at your earliest convenience, maybe in the next hour or so, ideally, so that we can find out. Thank you. Bye.
Thanks, Bruce.
Nailed it. That's
Appreciate
some good
that.
action. We got it done there. That's how you get things done over here.
And then if he doesn't call back, we're just going to say yes. He does.
Okay. Okay. I think that's
Heard it
fair. I
here
think that's a
first.
safe assumption.
My topic.
Yeah.
God damn. Nick Scarpino.
Why, when you did that, did I think of Flaming Hot Cheetos?
Because there's a lot of flaming hot Cheetos in the house
you
right
have
now.
some today? Does
no,
that- is your breath-
No. I had a quesadilla.
Jason
Oh,
shit.
there you go. Kevin's eating some over there.
I got a whiff of it.
Nice.
Thanks, Kev.
Monchichi over there is into him. Our own office koala bear.
Koala.
Don't touch him. Don't touch him. He's got chlamydia.
That's why we call him the koala. Not based on looks at all, based
Kevin
on the
doesn't get
chlamydia.
it.
Cool Greg
He
wearing
gives
right
it.
now?
Cool Greg is so hot now, he is just into
my
it.
God.
Get the fuck over here.
Over here with that.
Be on camera. Cool Greg.
I don't want to be.
Cool Greg, get over here.
So
you
cool.
you like this job, you show us that body.
Oh, shit. Man, he is really cool.
See, you look cool though. Why wouldn't you do that? Yeah.
This is given to us by a guest.
Yeah.
Justin. Mm-hmm. Devin, sorry.
Justin was the one before.
And Sean.
Yeah. I love that he still has the tag on the back. That's what's cool. Hey, Greg, you just missed it. I told the story about your koala stealing friend.
They weren't friends.
They weren't friends.
weren't
They were
friends.
acquaintances.
They were not friends. They were both
Jailhouse
fellow
acquaintances.
youths.
Jailhouse acquaintances.
It's such a weird word, jail.
I'd like to think that I'm Cool Greg's friend at this point.
I mean, I believe that,
he said,
right?
He said
Yeah.
definitely.
Well, I don't know because I don't presume that
He comes
I'm cool
here-
enough to hang with.
You hang with him though.
Yeah, but sometimes I don't like he hangs with me. Like I don't know if I get to hang with him. You know what I mean? Like
Okay.
he'll come to my thing,
Right,
be like,
right.
"I've graced you with my presence."
Right.
He'll look around, and then poof, he's
Yeah.
gone.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
gone.
Yeah.
Behind the
It's great.
trees, apparently.
No,
He
yeah,
goes
that's
into
right.
the night, Tim. You don't hang out with your brother. You don't understand. I'm like, where is he? I get worried about him. I was like, you want to ride home, dude? Can I take you home? Is it cool? He's like, nah, man, I'm good. Poof.
Just gone.
Oh, you have the names for everyone? Like
Cool Greg says, you know how you have the names for this busiest, this,
Yeah.
last, yeah. He doesn't understand the ages now.
the mascot of Market Street.
Oh yeah.
You
I
are
call,
the
I call him the
mascot
mascot
of
of
Market
Market
Street.
Street.
That's
Yeah,
really
he walks
awesome.
around Market
That's
Street
really
a lot.
cool.
Yeah, that's how it is. My topic's goddamn.
Yeah, what about it?
This is one that's been brewing for a while.
Yeah.
However, we've recorded so many shows, I'm not sure if it's brewed live yet or not or whatever. This is the thrust of it. Bruce, I'll give you the recap here.
Good term.
We talk on the show a lot about learn from our mistakes. And I always bring up the fact that when I was young and stupid, I would call things I didn't like gay. Right?
Oh yeah,
I
right.
Throw it
And
around.
I think we all did. And that was stupid. That was dumb.
Exactly.
I'm not,
It's-
you know what? I'm not going to speak for everybody, but it was stupid.
Sure. Yeah, but it was that thing of, I get to college, I meet a gay person, and who's a friend. He's like,
Maybe don't
what do you
that.
really mean?
Yeah,
Why are you
maybe
saying
don't
that?
do that.
It didn't come at me confrontationally, but did. And so then, of course, as you know, making content on the internet now, there's all sorts of words we say or don't say. The other day on Kind of Funny Games Daily, a person wrote in and their question was about if South Park was offensive to Muslims or Arabs, and based on jokes and all these things. I'm reading the question, and it's one of those, I picked the question, I screen the questions, but I'm like, oh, gloss over, this is a good one, put it in the thing. When I got to, it was actually Arab/Muslim, and I read it, and I went, Arab. And no one in the room corrected me, and I went on. I was like, okay, cool. And it wasn't until bed that night where I was like, I thought that was a derogatory term. And I was sitting there thinking about it. I was like,
it's
Arab.
Arab.
I was supposed to say Arab.
Arab.
It is a derogatory term. I fucked that up. And only one or two people, granted, we're playing to our best friends here, wrote in like, I know you don't mean it. This is what you mean, blah, blah, blah. We talk about, though, on these shows a lot. Words matter. Empathy. You know what I mean? And how it is hard for us to make content and then be funny, but you don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. You don't want to take a joke too far.
You
And
joke
to that
around,
offense,
but yeah,
right?
you know,
Right.
our intent is never to insult people or make people feel bad.
And there's a subreddit right now, or thread right now of like, it's kind of funny being too PC these days or whatever. And it's because, of course, all of a sudden me fucking wanting to talk about PlayStation 2, I got to talk about sexual harassment every other day and all this different stuff.
yeah,
and I'm
yeah,
trying to balance all these new things and everything else. However,
These new things. New things for us to talk about.
I'm pretty, Andy, can I get a fact check? Sexual harassment just around the last few weeks, right?
Where did Andy come from?
Yeah, thanks, Andy. No, Andy's just chilling out by the boards there. He's right back
I have
into
a
it.
picture of it. It's just his nose. It's so cute.
However, as we talk about these words, as I will say something and then dial it back on the show, like, well, that came off wrong. I didn't mean to offend anybody, blah, 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 blah. A kid hit me up a few weeks ago now and was like, I find it interesting that you're worried about this word, worried about offending this person, but you still say God damn all the time. And I thought that's a very interesting thing I'd like to address as a topic. Because I feel like, as with anything, Kind of Funny, since the day we started Kind of Funny, we've talked about it, like, there's a line. We're not trying to be mainstream for everybody. We're not trying to never offend someone. And we're not trying to like go for you. We want to piss you off. We're poking the sharp stick, right? But there's certain people that have different thresholds and different checkboxes in this. And for me, goddamn is kind of a non-starter, but I don't know if that's stubborn of me or stupid. Because for me, when I say God damn it, when I go, oh, man, fuck this, Jesus, that stuff, at no point am I saying deity, God,
Well, you're
smite
not
this
really,
thing.
you're not intending to take the Lord's name in vain, right?
Exactly.
You're not saying, when you say God damn it, it's not like we're saying, hey, that's a hidden jab against Catholicism or Christianity, right? I'm not saying God damn it so that there's people in the room that believe in organized religion. I'm like, fuck you people who believe in organized religion. That's not the point. It's just a parlance. It's just a term that people say. It's an exclamation that you put on something. Also, you put those two words together, in my opinion. I understand that it's a term that evokes a certain emotion in people who are religious, but it's not. Those two words together are not bad words together. God damning something is not bad. It's in
Also
the Bible,
true.
for Christ's sake.
Right.
So, like, I don't understand. Well, and that's another term, right? For Christ's sake, people go, oh, you can't say for Christ's sake. I'm like, why? It's not. It's not like I'm saying like Christ's dick or something like that. Like if I were to say that over and over again, that would be me probably trying to fuck with people out there that believe in organized religion. But it's not. I think this is a prime example of people choosing to be angry about something. That's my personal opinion. As a person who grew up Catholic,
Me too.
for a very long time, people go, you shouldn't say goddamn. And I'm thinking, I look at those people and go, you don't have anything to complain about today, so you're getting angry.
Well, my thing about it is this. I grew up Catholic as well. And my takeaway from it is the fact of, growing up Catholic, going to Catholic school for kindergarten through senior year of high school, right? Like, I left there so sure of what my interpretation of God was and is to this day. It still is, right? Of like, so Lawrence is calling to say if he has chlamydia or not.
Hold on just a second.
Thank you. Sorry.
We'll
Let's
get-
pause this very this.
Lawrence, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. What's up?
Did you get the message?
I did. Or rather, I read the Google translated version of the message. I'm a busy guy, Bruce. I don't have time to listen to messages.
Okay, well, what's the answer?
Sadly inconclusive.
Inconclusive.
I have noticed an odor. There's a definite odor.
Kevin, can we Google if chlamydia has an odor?
All right, Kevin's going to Google the symptoms to see if you do have it or not.
Odor. I don't think that's one of them.
It might be odor.
Underball odor.
It might be like that you smell almonds all the time or something like that. So,
That means you're dying.
yeah. So
Here we go. Chlamydia. This is the
Here the
CDC.
symptoms-
What the fuck is that top image?
the symptoms of chlamydia are: how's chlamydia spread? Can I reduce my risk? Am I at risk? Where?
Keep scrolling.
Control F odor.
How do I know if I have?
How do I know if I have chlamydia?
Abnormal vaginal discharge? Do you have that?
I mean, I guess I haven't really checked.
Maybe a burning sensation. A burning sensation when urinating.
Doesn't pee,
You know,
pee
that
always
happens
kind of burns?
Sometimes. I want to say like.
You're not doing it
I
right.
want to say like once every 2 months, I take just a really acidic piss. Like it hurts.
Ooh, that's not good. What about,
Any
what about
rectal pain?
Yeah, rectal pain.
No, that's pretty squeaky clean.
Okay, all right. And then swelling in one or both testicles.
This is less common.
Does swelling lead to ball smell? In and around the ball?
I think you just
No,
need
I
a
just think-
shower.
I
You just need to take a shower.
just feel-
Hydrate better and shower would be my diagnosis here.
Yeah.
Chlamydia free,
Kevin,
Lawrence.
Chlamydia free.
Close
Thanks,
that.
Lawrence.
Thanks,
There you
Lawrence. We appreciate it.
No, it's done. It's done now.
Good old chlamydia free.
All right, bye, buddy.
Thanks, Lawrence.
I left with my own interpretation of God and religion and everything else, right? And like that, and we talk about it here on the show every so often or whatever, but I just don't think that God's watching us marking down our bad deeds. I think if you're a good person, you're good-hearted, your reward for that, and it's a good thing. I think it's the fact of because I talk about, okay, don't that's so gay, you know what I mean? Don't be a fag, like, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. And I talk about that story all the time, not to say those words to shock people, but to say, I used to say those before somebody was like, that hurts my feelings as a gay person, please don't say that. And you're like, oh my God, I never thought about it.
You evolved.
So then I've had people and best friends like yourself come up and be like, well, the goddamn thing is similar to me. When in reality, I don't think it is. Whereas I feel like the goddamn is based on a belief, right? We can all come around that screaming at somebody, you're a fag, or and saying it in a jovial sense
to a person. Versus,
exactly. And like, but goddamn is like, you're taking your personal beliefs and putting them on me. Right. And I guess that there's an argument to be made here, of course, that a lot of people do still think gay's wrong and that these people are abominations or something. And so me saying that we're not allowed to do that, don't say that, that's a bad word for that, I guess they would say is me putting my belief on them, but I don't feel they're the same.
Me personally, the way I look at it is, because I was brought up the same way as you guys, Catholic, Christian school, the whole deal. I just don't say that. I try not to say goddamn, I try not to say Jesus, I try not to say, what, that kind of stuff, because that's for me something I'm not going to say. I can see how people are offended, but there are a couple of things here with like the PewDiePie saying the N-word, that whole deal. We did a podcast on that, and there are a few things that you kind of can't cross a line with, and that's one of them. That was one of them where all of us were just like, like maybe this is why he said it, whatever. Regardless, we're never going to say that because we know that it offends people. And I don't know if we've gotten there with those like taking the Lord's name in vain and stuff like that. But for me, I just do my best to try and set an example, and not say any of those words, and get better at it, like gay or whatever else, because I want to make sure that I'm not saying those in the wrong context. Comedy is an entirely different thing. It's like in a podcast setting, I think that's kind of the right setting to not say those words, sort of tone it down.
Sure.
But like Louis C.K. or George Carlin have done comedy routines with the N-word and that kind of stuff, and they've been able to pull it off. It's all about context. It's always about context.
And I think for me, it boils down to intent as well, right? When I say the word "God damn it," again, to reiterate this, I'm not. When you say the word "fag," when you call someone a fag, right? You're disparaging a group of people. You're saying I'm equating you to something that I view in my brain as being lesser because you're a fag, right? That's why that word is terrible. That's why that word people should try not to use that word. If I said the word "goddamn," you might be offended, but I'm not trying to say. There's no intent of insulting anyone. I'm not insulting God. I'm not trying to insult anything.
I think that's you're right. I do think that's a semantics thing, though, because it's like you're still equating it in a negative way where you're never saying "goddamn" or "Jesus Christ" or any of that in a good way. Like it's only when it's talking about.
Not true. Sometimes I say I do say it in a good way. Sometimes it is an exclamation of something. That's awesome.
True.
Oh, that's
true.
God,
that's
like,
damn.
Yeah.
Right? How many times you said that, right? There's some things that are goddamn worthy. For sure.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, it gets muddied, right? Because I feel like back to when I was a kid, when I was like, man, that episode of Raw was so gay. Like I wasn't meaning it to be. I don't mean homosexual. I just mean it's bad. I just mean I'm using it as a synonym for bad or stupid or whatever.
There's a lot of gray here.
Yeah, I know, and that's why I think it's interesting to talk about, because I know you're watching these shows, you're paying attention to us. I'm not doing it to get a rise out of anyone who believes in God. I think it's a great word. I think, you know what I mean? It does punctuate things so well, and the same thing with Jesus and all this.
Yeah, and also, for me personally, like I have some issues with the Catholic Church. I have some issues with organized religion, and so I don't like that. That's a term I can't say. I don't like that's something that I grew up going to Catholic school and I was told these things, and to me it represents, and maybe I'm having an overly emotional reaction to it. It represents all the things that I think are wrong with the church, right? You can't say these words, God and damn together. Are you fucking kidding me? Why not? Right? Why not? Like these are these built-in control mechanisms that I had an issue with growing up, which is why I left, which is why I don't go to church anymore. That to me represents everything that is like everything that builds up to this monumental thing that we're all supposed to like bow down in front of, and I just don't buy that. I don't buy there's a God out there going like, well, you can't say God damn every once in a while. You can't say Jesus like that is my son, right? Like, I'm sorry, I don't buy that.
And I guess that's the problem for me, is the fact that, like, to what you're talking about, and like me leaving Catholicism, is just the fact of just like, yeah, okay, well, they don't like gay people and they won't let women be priests, and I don't agree on this social issue. That, you know what I mean? Where it's like, this is just another one where I'm like, oh, that's not how I feel God would care about it. No. And so then that again now is me saying goddamn and using it is me again exerting my beliefs in this realm, right? In the same way you saying, well, I get offended when you say goddamn, is you asserting that your beliefs. But I feel like we get to this point now where it's like, it's not is clear cut anymore for me as when I was walking around saying gay.
Absolutely.
And somebody finally was like, don't do that. I'm like, oh, that's a great point. Whereas right now I feel like we both have pretty good points as to why you don't agree with me, but I agree with my, you know what I mean? So like,
yeah, but the question
that's
becomes,
the line now.
The question becomes, is this going to be another word that it just becomes so overly stigmatized that people go, well, fine, I'm just not going to say it, right? And I don't know if that's a good or bad thing either.
And I mean, my thing is, I think that's where the discussion lies, where it's like, I think that is overall a good thing if it's because we end up stop saying it because it is upsetting groups of people based on who they are and based on those type of things. If it's just like, oh, you can't say whatever word because of trigger culture.
Somewhere on that, right?
Yeah,
because there's
like,
so many
my thing
outrageous
is everyone has the
things out
freedom
there.
of speech. They can say whatever they want. It's like, it's up to you to be offended and upset about things, including being offended about being offended. It's such a stupid game when you can say any word you want. You just need to be able to own it. And when people walk up to you and say, this offends me, you need to be able to look them in the eye and say, that's cool, I respect that, but I'm still going to say it.
And see, that's the weird thing for me to be on this side of the argument, where I feel like when we talk about stuff on Games Daily with like sexual harassment stuff recently, or just any of the shows we're talking about, I preach empathy. And I do say, put yourself in that shoe and blah, blah. And on this issue, I don't feel like I can do it. I put myself in your shoes and I'm just like, well, I don't agree with so many other parts of this that it makes me hard to agree with you on this. But I don't ever want to offend somebody. I don't want that to be the thing that pushes people away from our content, and hopefully it isn't. I'm sure my thing is, if you're like, I'm offended by goddamn, maybe the chlamydia call also pushed you away. You know what I mean?
And
like, you're in a
that's the
different.
thing,
I'm
is,
sure
like,
there's
we
someone
say
out there that
fuck.
had chlamydia at one point that was like, well, guys, it's not that funny to make fun of chlamydia, but we're still gonna fucking do it anyway because the word itself is funny. Also, it's
The
just
word
in my
itself
peripheral
is funny.
vision right there.
Our little
Someone
chlamydia
take
sign
the
up
sign
there.
down.
Well, no, it's
Chlamydia.
a memory. It's a memory up there.
I feel like people get offended by
memory wall.
swear words, and that doesn't stop us
Yeah.
because we believe that it's totally
Sure.
okay to say that. And there's a group of people out there that think that that's not okay. And it's on us to be responsible and to own our actions and to decide this is the person that I want to be and this is how I'm going to stand up for what I believe in and for my freedom of speech and all of that.
Yeah.
When it comes to me with goddamn, I say it all the time. I say Jesus all the time. I say fuck all the time. I say a lot of things that at the end of the day, I know upset people. And is it stuff that I need to say? No. But in my life, I did not grow up religious. I have always been anti-religion. I've never understood it. I support people being religious. Cool, that's great. San Francisco bubble, say whatever the fuck you want. What it comes down to is it wasn't until someone that is a close friend of mine was like, hey, why are you saying goddamn? Like, do you need to say that? Do you need to say...
Much like with my friend with the gay.
Jesus Christ. It's like... It's not like it's breaking my life to hear you say it. It's just like, could you say something else to mean the same thing that wouldn't, like, that just makes you sound better? Like, it's the type of thing where when you're having a conversation with someone and then they immediately, when they get triggered by the things, they're not listening to what you're saying anymore.
Well, and I appreciate that it's a nuanced argument, but on some level, at some point, people are just being too overly sensitive to this.
That's absolutely true. But my thing is,
sensitive.
if they're being overly sensitive, I need to take that in and be like, how sensitive do I need to treat this? I haven't stopped saying it, but I am aware of it. When I do say it, I'm like, oh, cool. I need to be aware that.
But see, I'm only aware of it because I'm afraid someone's going to get super offended and give me shit for it, and then it's going to be something I have to deal with, right?
All right, so
it's not making me a better person. It's just making us all fucking like way more afraid to say anything, and that's the shittiest thing.
Well, at
Sorry,
Funhouse,
Bruce.
that's fine. Sorry. At Funhouse, I interrupted you. We try and sort of adopt the South Park method of thinking, which is offend everyone.
Yeah.
Because at that point, if you're going to offend everyone. If somebody complains like you offended me, it's every episode. If somebody new is offended, you can go look. We're making comedy. It's going to offend everyone at some point. That's what we do. That's the way we fly.
Either it's all okay to make fun of or nothing. Yeah.
And to a certain extent, like in this context, podcast context, things are different. Like you're talking with each other, like kind of human being to human being in a conversation. That's a totally different context versus a comedy video that you're making. Like, and we try to draw a line there. We try to say, okay, this is a comedy video. This is something that's supposed to make you laugh. And ideally, the rules then at that point are we're just offending everyone, because we want to give equal treatment to
well,
everybody.
I love that, but I like that like, and part of me loves that because obviously I love comedy. But the power of comedy is that it does push boundaries, right?
Absolutely,
You're
yes.
supposed to redefine those boundaries in your brain every time you hear a joke, and it makes you think, and that's what the beauty of comedy is. That's different though than someone stubbing their toe and going, "God damn it," and then having someone go, "Well, you really shouldn't say things like that." I mean,
No,
that's like, come
is.
on,
It is.
dude. How far is too far?
Right. Well,
What's the next? If I say, "Oh man," is someone give me shit? I was like, "Well, you should say, "Oh, you man,"
Yeah.
or
Right.
just "Aw."
No, I
like,
know.
come on, people.
It's it's ever changing in the world we live in.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
it comes to real life and it comes to like these sorts of settings, especially making content. So that's why I try to couch it in the context of comedy first.
Sure.
If we're making comedy, then it's a little different. Rules are a little different.
But do you feel like that might be a bit of a cop out though? Do you feel like, because I see this all the time, I go to a lot of comedy clubs now, and I'm like, I do wonder where that line is on stage.
Sure.
Because
There
I'm
is a
like,
line.
there is,
100%
but it's an
there
ever moving line, and it really does depend on how funny you are and how much
Yes.
and
Is
how
there a
much the
line, though?
audience.
There-
but there
'Cause I
is-
feel like there's no
there
line.
isn't until there is.
Yeah,
right? A perfect
it's-
example is I went to the Punchline the other day, and they were talking about a famous comedian that was there the night prior who had called two lesbian girls in the audience a dyke, and one of those girls lost her shit on him. And it was a bad situation. The bouncers had to come over and like take him out, and it was totally bad. And on that level, I'm like, who's right in this, right? Obviously, those people came into a comedy club, so they're willingly subjecting themselves to that. But I don't know, right? It's an interesting
to me, I
argument.
think it's clear. It's like when you're in a comedy club, you're paying for someone to stand on stage and say whatever the fuck they're going to say.
I would argue that too. I
If
would
you
argue
get
that too. It's
violence,
performance, sure.
that's
you were
the
in the
line.
wrong.
You
You're in the
crossed the
I
line.
totally agree with you. But like Nick's saying, we have to be careful when we're making content and stuff like that. You got to be, because there is always a line with someone, and it's like,
Yeah.
and Michael Richards is another good example of when he sort of like.
Wasn't a good example because he like that wasn't even comedy, right?
But
He was just like
no,
raging.
but it was the context of comedy. See, so like he wasn't telling a joke; he's just screaming a word, right? And that's when it became no longer comedy; he's just insulting people.
Right.
Yeah,
That's,
yeah,
and that's.
yeah.
I
That's
guess
a good point.
that might be the point of like, I don't know. I wasn't there for this particular comedian, but I don't know. There is a line someplace, and you can see it when comedians go from, hey, this is a bit I'm doing, hey, I'm playing along, hey, I'm fucking with you because everyone else is enjoying it, to I'm gonna spit some hate and venom at you right now. And I don't know if I can define that. I don't know if that. I mean, I don't know if you should define that in a comedy club setting specifically, but. I don't know. I mean, there are times where I'm like, well, it's fucking nasty. I'm glad that wasn't directed at me because I don't know how I'd react to that. Like, you know me, I don't react so well to things that I deem are not completely appropriate. Having said that, I say horrible shit on stage. So, like, I can't. It's a double standard for me. I can't go to a comedy club and be like, there are some lines for me. Everything has to be everything has to be open for me, you know. And it's just, but
tough.
it's just weird.
It's really
It is.
tough. There's a lot of gray
and I do see people's understanding. Like you're brought up, bring it back to the topic. I see the other side of it. I do understand it, and I don't want to come off culturally insensitive or insensitive to religion because, again, I was raised Catholic. My parents don't say "God damn it." They don't say Jesus. They don't say things like that. It is for them a sign of respect. I get that. But I just don't believe in that. So why do I need to respect? Why do I need to show that same sign of respect for something that I just don't believe in? Right? Why? And,
No, I get it. That's the
where the
murky
nuance
part,
already
right?
comes.
Yeah.
Right?
But
You're telling me that I can't do something. And I'm telling you I can. And that's maybe just an agree to disagree thing. I don't know. You know?
Yeah, like,
I
this
don't
is-
like having people come and say like, and you know.
This is the boiling it down to like a very not apples and oranges argument, or not argument, but like example, right? Of like what you're talking about is how you're raised, right? And it's similar to like wearing shoes in the house. And like when we would wear shoes at the old place in the house in videos, so many people would always be in the comments like, "You're disgusting. Why would you do that? I would never let you do it." And it's like, well, fuck you. It's not your house, and you don't have to worry about it. You know? And like, I know that's not the same, but it is in a way, right? If it's how you're raised, and then you get there, and then it's trying to take your belief structure, as I am as well, and put it into somebody else's world, and that's where it gets so fucked up.
Yeah.
Where I feel like there are clear-cut right and wrongs, but then I don't think goddamn is one of them.
It is a thing that, and again, I will fully admit to anyone watching this right now or listening or ready to fucking fire off comments that I have probably an unfair bias against religion because we've had topics on this before and I've shared past experiences. I'm not a fan of it at all. So I'll say I'm probably starting this conversation at about a 30% of emotional level as opposed to 0, which is unfair for a lot of people. But I just feel like that's one of those things where it's an example of a religion trying to censor other people, and I don't like that. And I think there is a nuanced line, and there is a difference between saying like this is hate speech versus, hey, you're just not allowed to say this because because
It offends me.
It offends me, or not even, it's against my religious practice. I'm like, then we're gonna have a problem here because it's not. You're trying to project that shit on me, and you're trying to censor me, and I don't appreciate that.
Yeah.
My whole thing, it all comes down to like every relationship in life, communication. And if you're not getting your point across to somebody because they're blanking out because you said something, you're not doing your best job of communicating to them. And does that mean that it's your responsibility to know all this? But no, then stop trying to talk.
It's just
to them,
interesting,
'cause they're
right?
not going to listen.
Where your point was like, your friend was like, oh, well, goddamn it, can you say something else, right? Or Jesus, like, Jesus is my replacement for fuck for the most part, right?
Yeah,
And like,
mine
that's
too.
the thing where it's like, I'm more gun shy about cursing in front. I think that makes you sound stupid.
Yeah, I was like,
And
what do you
that's-
want me to say, motherfucker? How
And that's
about
the
that
other
one? You
interesting
want that one
thing
instead?
that I find about this. Now, granted, again, like I said, kindergarten through senior year parochial school, so clearly people, Jesus and goddams, they're paying attention to them. I'm surprised it doesn't come up more, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Where I feel like it's once every year and a half, 2-3 years, someone will message me about this, and it's been just recent based on the conversations we're having. But again, it was one person who did that.
I've seen a lot of it recently because of the conversations we've been happening, and I think that it's because we've had, as a group, I think, such a united front in the things that we're talking about that there is a way more right and wrong. Whereas with this, it's more like
This is a gray area.
yeah, it's
totally
gray,
yeah.
and it's like, and my friend when he told me this, like I was like laughing at him. I'm just like, are you kidding me? Like that's so stupid. And it's one of those things. It hasn't changed what I do. I just think about it. There's times when I'm tweeting something out and I type it out and the goddamn's in it, and I'm like, I can just say something else and that will get a better response. And that's the point.
Yeah.
See, and that's the funny thing is I do that too for my tweets, where I'll write goddamn, and I'm like, you know what? That's gonna. I guess that there I'm looking at as content. You know what I mean? Of like, that's going to hurt this piece of content that I'm trying to share with as many
But it's
people
only
as
going to hurt that
possible.
because you know it's an inflammatory term towards other people, so you're censoring yourself, and I get that, and that's what
Well, I
you
mean,
do, right? I don't.
You would do that with other words too.
Well, I have a weird thing about tweeting where I don't like doing any swear words in tweets, and I don't know why that is, but I feel like
because it
the
totally
point.
it takes the kneecaps out of retweets.
I guess that might be.
It's
yeah.
offending people, and it's
Well,
like
no,
when
yeah.
you're trying to get your message out to people, you want your message to go to as many
There
people
are
as
some
possible.
times
will
that I
listen.
do it. There are some times, but
too.
to me, it's like writing a joke,
Contextual.
right? Like if you can write a joke and you phrase it a certain way, it has the most impact on it, right? But that's different than me saying like without thinking, God damn it, because that's the term I use to express that level of emotion, right? And then having someone be like, well, can't you use something else? I'm like, well, no. I mean, that's the term that I choose to use to express that. So no, that's the one I'm going to choose, right? I don't know. I've never had. I don't hang out with a lot of people who are heavily into religion, so I don't know. Maybe that's by choice.
It's just a weird conundrum, gray area to wrestle with. I feel, you know what I mean?
is.
Because like,
Very
yeah, we
much so.
could. It's that thing of like, well, what if we did this show, GameOverGreggy show, and we didn't curse and we didn't use goddamn or whatever, right? And it would be like, I have definitely seen people write it way more than the goddamn that people write in are like, hey, can you guys not curse as much? Because I'm trying to listen. I'd love to listen in the car with my kids. I'm like, we're still going to talk about assholes and vaginas and stuff. So that doesn't make any sense. That
let
doesn't
your
help
kids
you.
listen to this. This is the problem.
Don't listen to them. Let them all listen to it.
Yeah,
Get their own YouTube
but
accounts.
This is the thing that concerns, I think, a lot of people, and it's definitely been a discussion that's been happening over the last few years, right? Which is that line of what is acceptable to say keeps getting pushed back a little bit and a little bit, and some of that's good and some of that's progress. But where we have to define what's good for us. I like swearing. I like talking about adult content. I like raunchiness.
Yeah.
That's the podcast that I want to be a part of.
Exactly.
If you
You're-
don't want to listen to that.
But,
Well, then,
but
yeah.
that's
This is
the
not
thing,
a
though. It's
podcast
like
for you.
then we decide that. It's all about everyone deciding what they're okay with and standing by it and doing
Sure.
it. I
Sure,
think
but
that's
But it's getting dumb. It's getting boiled down to more and more vanilla, and it's
see.
it's
I
concerning.
think that is such a like just empty argument because it's like that just shows that the people on the other side aren't down to stand up for what they are doing. Like when it comes to like when I look at the Reddit thread about people talking about us being too politically correct or whatever, it's like, dude, we're standing up for what we believe in.
Right.
If you don't agree with me, don't agree with me. I'm telling you, I'm standing. People are like, oh, they're so sensitive and they're just like doing everything they're toning things down and dumbing. No, we're not. This is what I believe.
Yeah.
Like if you don't take it, either leave or understand that we believe different things.
Yeah, I guess for me it boils down to like, and this is something I have to ask myself, is I'm like, am I toning it down because that's what I believe in? Am I toning it down because that's the right thing to do? Or am I toning it down because I'm scared that there's going to be a wave of people that I can't deal with on Twitter because that's what happens, right? And that's something that's where I think the concern comes from me, because I'm like, I don't want to say something that I'm joking around with and then have a wave of people come at me and then me have to back away. Not because I think you guys have convinced me that I'm wrong, but because you're there's an outrage culture that's happening out there, and they're fucking that. If that turns on you, you're fucked. You're screwed, right? So I think that's where the concern happens. Is this is not a hill worth dying on, but there will be one day, and if we don't monitor where that line is, how what will be okay to say? Nothing. We'll have to talk in weird blank terms.
So overly dramatic, and I think that's what the problem lies.
But that's the thing. Is it overly dramatic?
Let's look at
big
the things
changes
that we
like
can't
that
say.
don't happen all at once, right? They happen over the span of 10 years, and if you're not paying attention to it, all of a sudden you turn around, and you're like, well, there's not much we can talk about these days.
But
folks.
I mean, let's
talk about the
literally
weather.
look at the next 100 years, and like on the pace that we're going, as the words that we can't say. Again, you can say whatever you want. It's just up to how people are gonna take it. So I just think that it's people are outraged at outrage culture. Like there's so much here that's so stupid. It's like stand up for what you fucking believe in and just be on that hill. Die on that hill. If you're not going to die on the hill for it, you don't care. So what does it matter?
Interesting point.
Like I just feel like that there's people are always talking about how like eventually we're not going to be able to say anything. It's like there's a handful of words I can think of that over time people are like these are problem words.
Say them all right now.
No. I don't know. I
understand what you're saying.
I feel like I'm extra sensitive about this because I feel like there's so many weak people out there that are just sitting there and kind of throwing insults and throwing all this stuff at nothing because they are upset that they don't have a place to talk and they don't have a place to put their opinions out there where people are listening to
That is
them.
the outrage culture in general, right? But on both sides. Right? Or is there people out there that don't feel that they're maybe not connecting and they don't know how to react to that, and so that's what they do?
I think with the internet now, that's harder than ever to not find a group that you can identify with. I mean,
Right,
like, there
but
are so many different groups.
I think a lot of
and so
people
many different
derive
niches.
validation from saying this is going to be my new crusade, right?
Sure.
Or at least that's the common thread when you go on Twitter and you see people like the thing that a lot of people were talking about over the last week was the hoop earring thing. Did you guys hear about this?
No.
There was an article that Joe Rogan retweeted it where it was saying that white women aren't allowed to wear hoop earrings because they're appropriating them from Latino culture, right? And so that was an argument that were people having, but it was like it's things like that make you wonder. It's like, is this what we should be collectively spending our time arguing about, or is this just people who don't know where that displaced rage is coming from and need to put it somewhere, right? And I think that's a lot of Twitter and a lot of the internet is I'm angry, I don't know if I can control something in my life, so maybe I'll just go here because I know I can fuck with this person.
I
right?
guess there are those people. In my opinion, when those articles come up and your gut reaction is this is fucking ridiculous, there's a discussion there that if you were to listen to the discussion and look at the different sides, you'll have an opinion on the situation. And it's up to you to have your opinion, whether you agree with side A or side B.
Or maybe it's just so easy to be like, I don't like that you're doing something, and just by me saying that you're not allowed to do that, you can't do it anymore. And that's unfair.
That's the thing. There's never a point that they can't do it. They still can.
They still
They
can.
just need to
Just whether or
stand
not
up
they
for it and
decided-
just do it. Someone else can tell them they can't, but they still can.
That's easier said than done when there's like a giant wave of hate coming
Then
at
those
you for
people
not
are the
doing
weak
that.
ones. Those people are the ones that are all talk where they're like we need to stand up for it. You're not standing up for it. Like if you're standing up for it, do it, and don't let the freedom of speech. Don't let the words hurt you. They're words.
Yeah. Good one. Good ending. Yeah,
I
I
was
guess.
gonna say that this is it's a tough topic.
Yeah, no.
Let's talk
right?
about Spielberg now.
Well, I wanted to get it out before we do like 2 Star Wars topics back to back.
No. Look, I think this is good, and again, like I'm obviously very passionate about this, but like you're right. Like there are a lot of these discussions that have happened over the years. You can and there are words that have been taken out of the common vernacular that absolutely have the right, in my opinion, to have been taken out.
Yeah.
Right. And that's just how that is progress.
The thing is, this discussion is progress.
Part of progress is diving deep into these issues, and I'm proud that I'm happy that we can do that from time to time.
100%.
Yeah, with them, of course, too. That's the whole
thing,
point.
it's the Reddit thread of people reading different people's side. It's teaching me. It's an ever evolving thing of this changes over time.
Yeah, exactly.
Everything that we do and say, I regret things that I've said before, and then there's other things I stand by.
Yeah.
And I always will.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's what, our thing always is, Reddit kind of funny, is the fact that what we say, we stand by. You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing is, I think, and if we don't, and you hear us backtrack on a show or whatever, or change our opinion later on, that's the conversation we have with the audience and with each other, obviously, in terms of keeping each other honest and moving on. Yeah. But yeah. All right. I'm going to keep saying goddamn for now.
Okay.
All right. Bruce, what's your topic?
My topic is Star Wars: The Last Jedi.
Yes.
I'm really excited to talk about Star Wars right now. So
Kevin's a big fan.
Have you guys seen the trailer?
Yes.
Absolutely.
No
Okay,
Watto yet, no sales. What I say?
No Watto.
No, but part of those,
no
they got the porgs in
No
them now,
Watto, no
right?
sale.
They got them porgs.
These porgs.
Yeah, but you wanted mini Chlorians too, didn't you?
Well, they're always
Greg's a
there. They're
big
inside
fan.
everything.
They're ever present.
Which one is this? Oh, Watto with datapad. Wow. I don't know if you guys. How much do you care about Star Wars?
A lot.
Everyone in this building, with the exception of Greg Miller, gives a lot of fucks.
Okay.
Greg Miller likes it.
I enjoy Star Wars. I enjoy a good
But he
Star Wars.
enjoys like fucking with it even more.
Yes.
Because
Everybody
he
gets
is a man
so-
that has wrote a whole fan fiction about Watto growing up into being one of the dewbacks and
That's right.
He can't turn
having
into a
sex with
dewback.
Anakin's
They made him a
mother.
horse. They made him a horse.
He's a toydarian.
Well, no, but they made him a
He
horse.
is a toy dad.
He's a toy.
He was good to his mother.
No, my topic is mainly just it's very very quick. I'm curious to think if you think Rey and Kylo are going to switch sides. So if Rey's going to go dark and Kylo's going to go light, hold on, or Rey's going to go. I agree, Kevin. Rey's going to go dark. Rey's going to go dark with Kylo at the end of Last Jedi.
Wow.
Or they'll stay the same side, and Luke Skywalker's going to die.
I will say,
So what do you think?
I think it would be fucking awesome. I don't think they would do it if they joined up and just took over everything together. But I don't think that's.
But what's
that's not
episode?
Star Wars
What's episode 9?
Doesn't matter what side,
It's
right?
Finn,
they redefine that side.
And it's the other
so that's
guy.
the third side.
Yeah.
So there's dark, there's light, and then there's what they're hinting at, this gray of
Gray.
The
Luke
Jedi or
being
whatever,
like the
yeah,
Jedi
the
over or
Force
whatever.
warriors, whatever. Yeah, but like that's my thing is I think ideal world needs something like that because
I
you've had
agree,
this
yeah.
stupid war going on for the better part of what, like 50 years. Come on, man. Someone's got to come in and just. So at this point, you start going like, oh, maybe the Empire had it right. Like maybe they were. I mean, they were horrible, but they did bring order to the
They
universe.
had a lot of good points.
Thank you.
They blew up an
All
entire
their ships
planet.
were very clean
Billions
and they
of
had
people.
awesome
Yeah.
uniforms.
Okay.
Many sides.
Maybe
There's
no
both
sides.
ways.
There are no sides. It's like the Nazis. There are no
I'm
sides.
just saying, like a lot of people like the Empire.
Only it sounds like only you. But
My thing is, everything you just said, I think there's an equal opportunity for it to happen
Okay,
in this
all right,
movie.
all right.
Because this, when you look at the trailers, again, I really give the utmost respect to Star Wars and Disney
Yeah.
for how they market these movies because they've done such a good job of not showing too much, getting the trailers to get us excited and leave questions open where we don't know the plot of this movie. And again, that could all change in the next couple of weeks with TV commercials. But based on what they've officially put out there, this movie's coming up in a month and a half. And we don't
Less than by
know
the time you see
if Rey's going to end up good or bad. They hint at it. In the
Okay,
trailer.
I'm sorry. So I did not know any of these theories were a possibility. Where are they stemming
in the
from?
trailer of like Kylo reaching his hand out and
And he's like,
it's her
I
reaching
can
her
teach
hand, I
you.
can teach
You don't know if it's the same scene or not or the same
Exactly.
line.
I just assume now this is all cut up funny.
well, here's what I think it is, and I'll go on record saying this because
Go on record.
I'm-
Kevin, take it out for the record.
I'm curious,
Pen out.
and I'm actually I'll need your help, Kevin, because
He's a lawyer.
I know you're a huge Star Wars fan. So here's what I think is going to happen. I think Rey is going to Kylo's going to offer his hand to Rey to come to the dark side, much like Darth Vader did to Luke Skywalker at the end of Empire Strikes Back. I think Rey will reject it. And I think at that point, Kylo will end up beating Rey in some sort of fight. She'll go down.
Chop off her hand.
And then Luke Skywalker is going to have to defeat Kylo and then also Snoke, but he's going to die in the process.
I don't
That's what I think.
I don't think that's going to happen. I think
I think Luke's going to fight Snoke, kind of beat him, sort of like a Voldemort Dumbledore fight.
that's my thing.
where where they sort of like both go to lick their wounds, but Luke dies type thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what's going to happen.
But my question to you is, when do you think that'll happen? Is this episode 8 that you're talking about, or is this?
Last Jedi? I think he's going to die in Last Jedi.
You think Snoke dies
Luke
in
has
Last
to die in
Jedi?
this one.
Luke.
Oh,
I think Luke's going to die in Last Jedi.
Yeah.
I think there's a chance we're gonna lose Luke in this.
I think
it's almost positive.
there's
You
a
have to.
good chance we're
Yeah.
gonna lose
You
Luke
have
in
to. You
this.
have to do the Dumbledore thing. You have to have. You have to take like in Harry Potter, they had to take Dumbledore out of the equation.
Or the
'Cause there was
Obi-Wan
always the
thing.
question of like, why isn't Dumbledore just coming here and fucking him up? Like he already fought Voldemort once and fucked him up.
Well, he-
dope ass. You know what I'm talking about? Order of the Phoenix. What up?
Well, no, but he did. But it
took it out of him.
He took it out of him, but
Yeah.
he didn't really like. He kind of beat him. Yeah, he sort of beat him. But
It was.
he
It
ran
was.
away.
It was enough of a. Dude, that was fucking.
It was
first
awesome.
off, the sound design of that.
Spoilers!
The sound design in that scene alone is
Well, it's awesome. There's no music.
unbelievable.
There's no music in that scene.
15
but they have-
points for Gryffindor!
Next time, give them Ravenclaw, baby. Let Ravenclaw all the way. But they have to do that, right? I really feel like they can't. Luke can't come and save the day. Rey is the main character. She's the protagonist of the story. She has to be the person that eventually causes the biggest change in the story. My thing is, I would love to have Kylo be redeemable, but I don't see it. There's
don't
no
see
possible
it.
way.
I think
he's
it's too
killed
late.
Han. Once he iced Han, it was like, you're
also,
not ever going to be a redeemable
They're
character.
hinting. So, do you think? I don't know if you guys have seen the trailer. Again, they're hinting in the trailer she's going to kill his mom, Leia, as well.
That ain't happening.
No, you don't.
Not
think
a
so?
chance in hell. No. Leia.
Okay.
Leia is going to be in episode 9.
No, she's not. It's already confirmed she's not.
I guarantee Leia's in episode 9.
That's
I mean,
already confirmed.
honestly, I think that
already
Leia
confirmed.
will be alive in episode 9.
Okay.
I think she blows up on her ship or something stupid on this one.
I don't think so,
I
man.
don't think so.
I don't know.
We'll see. But the thing that makes me really
It'd be
excited
awesome if
about,
they teamed up together.
about Last Jedi is when Force Awakens was coming out, you guys might remember, every trailer, I was breaking things down. I came up with the entire plot in the movie before it came out. And not that ruined it for me because I still fucking loved it, but I'm happy that that's not the case with this.
So
it's
but I wonder if it is going to follow the same formula.
Well, my
right?
thing is, what you're saying is the last scenario that I want to happen.
Yeah.
Which one?
That's too happy-go-lucky,
Too
too
cut and dry.
Disney Star Wars.
Yeah.
Like them joining forces on the dark side,
Yeah.
I think is very interesting.
See, the wrench in the works is that line, right? Where he's like, the Jedi has to end.
Yeah.
Or whatever that line was, where he's like, the Jedi has to come to the end. That is fascinating because that is saying, hey, FYI, we're not going to repeat the same cycle over again. We're not going to have you beat the dark side and bring balance to the fucking force. Something else has to change. We have to do something different. And I'm hoping that is indicative of the next 2 movies. Like what's going to happen in the next 2 movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a, kind of the meta version of this. It's a pivotal time for the Star Wars franchise because Force Awakens was the let's get back on course.
Yeah, it was just it was a normal reboot.
It's a normal reboot. Let's give them what they know and love. But now there's a lot of pressure from the fucking nerds out there that are like, you can't just give us Empire again, even though those nerds are also saying, give us something like Empire.
If they gave the exact same Empire again, I think people would be happy with it. I just would be disappointed. I think that people would be like, all right, fuck it. It was still a good.
But that's what I'm
movie,
saying.
right?
People are gonna like this.
Yeah, they're
no
gonna
matter
like
what,
it.
they're gonna like it. But what I'm saying is, I feel like in order for it to really be this is the first Star Wars movie since the new ones have come out that I think all eyes are on it, where it's like, you better blow us the fuck away.
Yeah.
Because 7 was like, it was pretty clear from the beginning. They're like, this is gonna be better.
We're
than
making these
prequels.
your men's, yeah.
Like this is gonna be fun.
we got some ground to make up on these. Sorry.
Rogue One was like, cool. It's gonna be a different type of Star Wars movie, and then they delivered on that. It's Last Jedi.
I loved Rogue One.
Me
Rogue
too.
One was great.
I was a big fan of it.
Last
What
Jedi,
up, Gary Whitta?
Last Jedi is the one that I'm like,
Whitta?
it's being compared to Empire.
Yeah.
It is the Empire of this story, and that there's so much
big
pressure
deal.
on it, and I do feel like they have to switch some things up, and she staying good, him staying bad, I think is too easy. But even them both being bad might be too easy. But him being good,
That'd be
how are they
awesome.
gonna
Imagine the
redeem it?
gasps if she takes his hand, gets up, she got red eyes.
I don't see it coming.
But who defeats him? Who defeats him if they both go evil?
What?
If Luke is dead, Snoke's alive, Kylo's alive.
Watto, yeah, I know. But
See, the thing is this,
they're all
though.
alive.
what's Boyega's character again?
Poe.
John-
No, Finn.
Finn
excuse
and
me.
Poe?
No.
Well,
they ain't doing shit.
couldn't
How's
Finn?
Poe gonna do it? It was a stupid little.
Finn turns out to be a Jedi. Remember we all thought he was a
that
Jedi from
is
the
a
first
theory,
one?
unfortunately.
I would. Why would that be
Unfortunately.
unfortunate? I would love that. I would love if they were like, "Hey, we're gonna train you too," because you're like, he's like, "You're cool." Hey, okay, let's train you too. You know what I mean? That was Luke Skywalker.
You're Luke. You're Luke. Yeah.
You get my Luke.
Yeah.
I would love to see that. I fucking love that storyline, but I don't think that's Star Wars. That to me is like totally Game of Thrones, right? Where you've got like, hey, this character that was good now has to do bad things, but then all of a sudden you're like, oh wait, that the narrative is crafted in such a way where I'm like, oh, you know what? Now I'm on this person's side, and what I thought was bad before is now good, and we're okay here. Star Wars doesn't do that though. Star Wars is like it's kind of a kids movie, right?
We're
You can't
running out
explain
of
that to
time.
kids.
It's not Game of Thrones in that it's season after season of
Right.
an hour an episode, 10 episodes at a
Right.
time. Like we have in the the episodes, we have 2 more movies that are what grand total going to be 2.5 hours each. And just looking at Last Jedi, like we need to be introduced to Snoke in a real way. We need to understand who he is because he was. I was actually even surprised how much he was in Force Awakens, where it was very little, but I was like, wow, they showed that character,
Right.
and like kind of grew stuff. There's Captain Phasma again. Didn't see much of her in Force Awakens. We need to see more of her.
She's gonna fight
here.
Finn. We already
She
know
fights
that.
Finn,
Yeah.
and that I'm very excited about that.
With
but it's
that
like when you start putting those things
baton thing
together,
again.
it's like where's this story going?
Well, regardless, we're going to get the coolest wizard battle ever at the end of this movie. I'm almost positive it's going to be Luke and Snoke. I'm like literally
see
100%
that, and I think
positive it's
Snoke
going to
kills
be.
him, and
It's
then I think
going to be
Rey.
like the baddest.
Yeah.
I think even Luke in the trailer says something like, "You're not going to get what you want." I think he says that line in the trailer because, and he sounds super upset and angry because I'm pretty sure like Luke's been training for what 30 years or something like
Yeah.
that. He's just been hanging out
On a rock.
So yeah, and he's gonna like there's gonna be a fucking badass battle, and I cannot fucking wait.
I hope Luke doesn't die in it.
I do too. Actually,
My thing is, I
he's
think,
gonna die.
and this is what I'm talking about. I feel like it's easy to predict what's going to happen with a lot of these things, and I think Luke not dying would be shocking.
Me too.
Because it's kind of easy to look at it. It's like Han Solo in 7, Luke in 8, Leia in 9.
Well, it's unfortunate because it is like the Han Solo dying in the first one was sure it had to happen, but it's also super unfortunate because that character is so fucking good, and you could have done so much more with that character.
Well, you're lucky, Nick. You get a new one, Solo, a Star Wars story.
Don't get me started on that. I'm less and less enthusiastic about that as the day goes on. Not the
With
least
all-
of which is because of the name.
With all your theories and whatnots, who do you think Snoke is?
I don't know.
Do you think it's
people,
Plagueis?
People think it's Plagueis.
I
People
think that's the right
it's-
answer.
It could be Plagueis was the Emperor's master.
Oh,
So and
okay.
the Emperor's
why
like,
not
I
call
learned
him
all these
Plagueis?
things and I killed him. Right? Remember he says that.
Yeah,
in
yeah,
one of
It's
the
probably
prequels?
going to be a reveal.
They're saying that Plagueis is.
Why? That's
Other people said
cheap.
he's Moff Tarkin, which he's not.
Plagueis made Plagueis sound like Plagueis was super like, a long time ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but Plagueis also was the first one to like
Cheat
learn
death.
how to like cheat
Cheat
death or
death,
whatever. So even though it was a long time ago, he could still be chilling, right?
That makes sense.
And the
But
Emperor
then,
didn't
like,
cheat death. He's dead.
but the question becomes: if not a lot of people knew who Plagueis was to begin with, like, why hide your identity from these people? Like, why call yourself Snoke?
No, people did know about him.
I mean,
Well,
like,
you know what I mean? Like,
maybe the Jedi knew. So,
fair.
you know.
Yeah.
So I guess there has to be a reason for the subterfuge.
I would imagine. Like, I don't think it could be anybody else. It doesn't make any sense.
If
that
it's
they-
Mace Windu, it's like, what the fuck? It's not that.
It's not Mace
That's
Windu.
so stupid.
That'd be
People, like,
awesome.
Some people have said it's Tarkin, which it's not.
No.
It's definitely not Moff Tarkin. So
I feel like all the theories of Snoke being somebody that they can't be right.
No.
Like, I feel, well, besides Plagueis. I
has
feel
to-
like
It has to be someone though, and it has to be gratifying.
Has to be
Because if it's just a random fucking character they made
Qui-Gon
up, forget about it.
Qui-Gon Jinn, that's
The
not a
ghost
bad-
of Qui-Gon.
actually
He's
not
like,
a
I
bad,
came back as a small bald man.
Why is he a robot?
He says things
Bird.
like, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I sound like
Yeah.
the Emperor.
Also,
All of them?
Skywalker,
What?
do we do? Qui-Gon Jinn's the first Force Ghost?
Is he the first?
Yeah.
Are we sure?
No, he wasn't.
In Jedi
Yeah.
history?
Yeah, he discovered it.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. at the
Oh
end-
yeah, when he's
at-
talking to Obi-Wan,
Yeah. at
but we
the
never
end-
saw it.
Right.
Right. That's
We hear
bullshit.
him
That's
one time.
Obi-Wan being
Here's
crazy.
my
He
big
had voices.
question. I
didn't
His
know
metachlorians were acting up that
Yoda-
day. He was gonna. So it's a bloops and blops over here.
Here's the big question I have for Star Wars, right? Last Jedi comes out. It's going to be great. People are going to go see it. We're going to love it. I'm being very hopeful. I
wait,
think
yeah.
it's going to be great.
I'm very excited.
Whatever the next one is going to come out, right? We got the Han Solo film. We've got probably a Boba Fett film at some point. They're talking about the Obi-Wan film, which, come on, son, get it done.
Yeah.
What's after that? What do you think? I'm going to lead you into this. What do you think the probability is they go back and remake the prequels?
Oh, remake the prequels?
Because we're talking, this might be 8 or 9 years from now, and it's they frame it in a way of like, hey, these are just reimagining of the sequel, reimagining, right? Which is how they fucking wipe out the past and make more money off of them. They've said they're never going to do it.
I feel like they're never going to do that. They would have to introduce something like Star Trek where they like did time travel and parallel universes and stuff, because they'd have to, if they're going to reboot that stuff and not call it canon. And be like, it's sort of like with X-Men too, where they did that same thing with X-Men, where they're like, those movies didn't exist.
But X-Men could have literally just been like, hey, we're starting over, guys. Does anyone really care? Let's take a vote. No,
Yeah,
okay,
no,
cool.
yeah, no, you're right.
You know, like they don't. No one.
Hugh Jackman walks out on a white screen. He's like, "Hey, we're just heads up.
Guys, listen.
We're just restarting it.
We
Well, hold on.
soup
There's a
fucked up.
button here. Boop. We've reset everything. None of us know each other in this movie. We're gonna meet again. All right.
The Bryan Singer verse in X-Men was okay. It had some good stuff, but why? But audiences aren't stupid now. Like, we have Twitter and Google, and people like, these are comic book people. These are people that like, what's up? What are you doing?
You have
It's
one
attached.
flyaway
It's attached.
hair. In the, yeah.
If you're gonna touch me, touch me.
Tim, he
Don't,
asked
you know
if-
I like to be
he asked
hardly
if
touched.
they were gonna
Touch
reboot
me.
the prequels.
If you're gonna
This is what I'm
touch
saying.
me, touch
So
me.
I bring it up all the
so.
time, but think about it, right?
I don't think so.
Because they make a bunch more films. 5-10 years from now, they reimagine the sequels. Do you think that ever happens?
No, because
What the fuck else are they gonna do? They can't tell another trilogy after this.
They've committed to
Tell new stories with Rey, Finn, and Poe.
They've committed to the prequel trilogy being just straight up canon, and not only just that being canon, but they've had so much So like whether it's Clone Wars and then Rebels filling in with stuff, it's like that stuff is. I mean, it's straight canon. It's not like
Sure,
now
but
it's
I
canon.
feel
It's
Get
not
out of
movies.
Mike, Andy.
I'm not thinking like I kind of agree with Nick. I don't think that they would. I don't think that they would reimagine them and change the story. I'm just saying like make the prequels better.
Again?
Like
Would
better acting.
Obi-Wan still have the high ground?
He would, yeah. I mean,
No, you're 5 feet from me. I have the high ground.
Anakin, no!
We were brothers. Smash his head in. Jesus Christ. I tried going back and watching. Revenge of the Sith was on TNT the other day. Don't do it to yourself.
It's the best of the three.
Don't
by the
do
way.
it to yourself, Bruce.
Episode
Just
three?
Far.
Well, Revenge of the Sith is-
you remember it being better than
know,
everything
It
else.
was
It's
better
still
than 1 and
terrible.
2.
Just
Way
it's better. It's better.
better.
It's better, but it's not as good as you remember it. Trust me. If you go
No,
back and
I mean,
watch it
it's not
now,
very good,
don't
yeah.
do it to yourself.
I mean, like Attack of the Clones is the worst. Episode 1 is the second worst, and then Revenge of the Sith is the best.
Absolutely.
Get on the fucking.
Not
mic.
even
it's
close.
just like Attack of the Clones is so far worse than all the other ones.
Lord of the Rings is better.
I like Lord of the Rings as a franchise better than Star Wars. The
No,
trilogy.
the Hobbit movies
The
are
trilogy.
garbage.
No, not the Hobbit movies.
Oh, okay.
I'm
Oh,
saying
we
the
can pick and choose. Okay.
I think the Lord of the Rings trilogy is better than the original Star Wars trilogy.
I like it. I think
love
the
Star Wars.
trilogy?
Yeah.
I think the second third of the Batman v Superman extended cut is a better movie than any of this.
Lord of the Rings is great. They're great films. They're not better than Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back.
The
or
problem
Return
is you
of the Jedi.
cannot bring the Hobbit into this argument because you don't have any. We don't have as Star Wars fans. We don't have ground to stand on. You can't make fun of the Hobbit and then have him bring up the prequels. We're fucked.
Oh,
we gotta
yeah.
leave
No,
the
no,
prequels out of the
I
argument.
love Star Wars. That's the thing. This isn't a versus
Andy's
thing.
off
Like,
Mike, and he's saying he doesn't like Star Wars.
no.
That's what
Andy
he
was
said.
saying that he was
You're not
wrong.
using a mic, so I
He
gotta.
said
I gotta
Attack of
tell
the
you.
Clones, best Star Wars
Just get him
movie.
a mic.
That's what I heard.
I just said it. I
That's
heard
what
it.
I heard.
Sorry, I didn't mean to get us off. On a
I know it's
What are you talking
wishful
about? That's what we
thinking.
do.
I just really think with the crew they have right now and the energy they have right now, how
Kathleen
fucking
Kennedy?
awesome would it be to go back and rewrite those
Anthony
and
Carlini?
redo them and do them in a different way. And again, I just don't buy that audiences are that dumb, and maybe I'm giving way too much credit to people that we wouldn't be able to be like, we're just gonna do another set of them. It's fine. It's fine.
People
don't
would-
freak out,
people would
people.
say that.
We're just gonna do it again.
People
You
will
can
watch
put
them.
Star Wars on anything, and I really do think you have a going forward. You can do another trilogy with Finn and Poe.
yeah.
You can go back in time and tell before all this stuff, like what Knights of the Old Republic. Call the movie fucking that, and just do some stuff. There's plenty of things to do. Don't
just
fret.
saying.
Remaking the prequels is very low on the list.
Yeah, I think it
can't
is.
imagine. And if they did, they'd just be totally different movies.
Yeah, I'm
like
fine
what
with
you're
that.
talking about. Them, I'll just keep the same stories.
No,
and
I don't
update.
like this shit.
Nah,
That's not
that ain't
like
never gonna happen.
Kathleen Kennedy, if you're watching, that's not my
problem
pitch.
with those
That's not my
movies-
pitch.
writing, I'm saying, like.
But it's
Better
like the
pizza,
plot
better
is
ingredients.
the problem with those movies.
Oh yeah, the plot's stupid. Where he's like this,
plot is
I had to
way
save
more
her life
realistic.
because I had a dream about her dying.
Dude, it absolutely
Fucking
is.
asshole.
'Cause it
Sand.
leads you to all the
Full
shitty
colors.
parts. It leads you to,
sand.
Anakin builds
You said
C-3PO.
me some people fucking put that shit in your mouth, you fucking gun.
Anakin building C-3PO was a big problem for you in the franchise? No, I'm just saying, like, the movies are so terrible that I think if they reworked the plot in a way with better actors, better writing, better pacing, like not everything CG, I think they could make them better.
That stuff, that's the bells and whistles. Around the problem is the meat of it. The entire thing. It's like the plot is wrong. The plot is bad. The
just not
Trade
good,
Federation stuff, how they the Anakin's whole journey and story is so lame.
But they got the
Midichlorians.
ventilation shaft. Part.
That's true.
First off, I don't know what accent you were just doing, but
The
it-
new gun ray.
droid, the droid in the Trade Federation ship.
Yeah.
Hold on. You're under arrest.
They've got the ventilation shaft.
you're doing a little like Selena right now. I just wanted to know.
Bitty, bitty bum
He's
bum.
doing Roger. Roger.
Fall
Roger. Yeah.
That was better.
with you.
I don't know. I want you on the mic, man. Get on the fucking mic. Stop stretching in front
Nick.
of us. Yeah.
What's your topic?
Piggybacking on The Last Jedi, this came from the Facebook group. I thought it was a fascinating topic. If you had to give
The
up
Kinda
one-
Funny Facebook group.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
If you had to give up one, Lucas or Spielberg, which one would you give up?
George Lucas or Steven Spielberg?
Steven Spielberg. If you had to go back and just retcon one of them at a time completely,
So
who would you
Steven
give
Spielberg
up?
would never make movies, or George
Steven
Lucas
Spielberg would never
movies.
make E.T. He would never make Jurassic Park. He would never make Schindler's List. He would never make
Oh.
any of
Saving
these
Private
movies.
Ryan.
Having said that, you're like, oh, I don't want to lose all those. But you lose Lucas, you lose Star Wars.
I mean, this goes back to it. Okay, Lord of the Rings versus Star Wars. Take
I
that
would-
out of it.
I
Star
would
Wars.
take Lord of the Rings out in the middle of it and just fucking pop
But
it.
versus those
Pop in
versus
the
all
head.
those movies, I mean, as amazing as they are, it's still Star Wars, man. Like Star Wars, the fact
Yeah.
that it's a story across multiple films that builds such a beautiful universe.
I don't know what I would have done in my childhood without Star Wars. I don't know. I have no idea. I probably would not be in this business if it weren't for Star Wars. It's totally true.
So you're saying it comes down to a battle of the big franchises, and you're saying Spielberg just doesn't have a big enough franchise. and I'm saying,
Here it comes. Lay it on him.
I'm throwing out Indiana Jones.
I knew you would.
Son,
No, are you
come on.
crazy?
I love those movies.
Crystal
they're good
Skull, man.
movies.
No, they're great, but it's like
Compared to Star Wars.
No, you hate Indiana Jones.
Will you stop with Lord of the Rings? Am I right?
Great, man.
I mean, Jurassic
Andy, you'd be
Park's
cool if you
great.
bought me an Oreo.
Don't eat Oreos on the show.
It's hard to imagine a world without Jurassic Park. Like,
Yeah.
It is,
dinosaurs
yes,
is and always or are and always
Look
have
at, can
been
you pull
cool.
up Spielberg's Kevin, can you pull
But
up
Jurassic Park
filmography?
put him to another level, man.
I just want you. Let's go through Spielberg's, and this really is. We have to look deep into this though, because Spielberg has done so many fucking amazing movies.
films.
Amazing movies. Spielberg. Remember this though. Spielberg is one of the people that was almost single-handedly responsible for making the concept of the blockbuster. Star Wars, very, very popular, but Steven Spielberg, if you watch that documentary on HBO, a lot of journalists
Jaws.
didn't like him because he was
Jaws.
the person
Jaws
to
was
make
the first.
the mega fucking
mainstream
blockbuster,
hit.
right?
Jaws
and
was
so
the first.
we don't get hit franchises like
Why is it
Pirates of the
Fast and the
Caribbean
Furious?
or Transformers or the Fast and the Furious without him, right?
Well,
Here
that's
we go.
true.
Here we go.
But Star
Like, and you guys kept.
Show me just as a director, right?
Yeah.
That's what I want to
Saving
see.
Private Ryan. Such a
Collect
good
on.
movie.
No. Scroll up. Click.
Well, no, it's important to look at all of them because he was producer on Gremlins. He was a producer on.
Yeah, but I don't buy
a
that.
lot
But
of these.
those movies happen.
Gremlins.
I feel like those movies happen without him.
Scroll all the way down.
You
No,
find another
because-
producer.
No, because he found Joe Dante and
All right, so
he
scroll
Joe
up.
Dante was like his
Start-
guy.
Jaws
Let's just start
70
here.
Jaws is 75, yeah. So let's start in Jaws. Jaws is that's where you want to go. So
Close Encounters of the Third
Close
Kind.
Encounters, 1941 was garbage.
Poltergeist, great movie.
Raiders, E.T., Poltergeist.
He was uncredited for Poltergeist.
Yeah, I think that Joe Dante directed that. I could be wrong.
Temple of Doom,
All right.
There's a lot of movies that he just shepherded.
Last Crusade.
I'm seeing Hook on this list.
Hook, yeah.
Star Wars,
Oh,
Hook.
he directed.
I don't know.
Fair point. Keep going. Let's
fucking
go.
love
Schindler's List, great
Jurassic
movie.
Park, Schindler's List.
Well, I haven't seen it yet,
Lost
but I know
World
it's a
is
great movie.
garbage.
Don't forget to Steven Spielberg. Boom Blocks.
Scroll it up.
I don't want to lose Boom Blocks. One of the good
Wii was
Wii games.
fantastic.
He
I'm actually kind of upset that he directed it.
most
Saving
people,
Private
most
Ryan,
people would
great.
say he peaked with Saving Private Ryan. Either that or
I
Jurassic
think
Park.
that was. I watched Saving Private Ryan.
Catch
That
Me
was the
If
last
You
movie
Can.
I really remember thinking, wow, this is an amazing,
It's a
and awesome
masterful,
accomplishment.
masterful film.
Yeah, I wasn't. Munich was great too, by the way. If you
Munich
ever go
was
back and see
great.
Munich, great. Catch Me If You Can, good movie.
Great movie.
Lincoln, I
Crystal
was
Skull.
so very lukewarm on. I'm like, I don't understand why.
I remember liking Lincoln, watching in the theater. I
long.
remember nothing about
long.
it
Yeah,
really.
It's very long.
He just talks
Other than
a lot.
Abe Lincoln.
It's
was
Daniel
There's a lot
Day-Lewis.
of bad movies here, guys.
There is a lot of bad movies.
But
War of
so-
the Worlds, not.
Yeah, you know what? There's a lot of movies that
Lucas made Howard the Duck, or actually he only produced it. Didn't
Kevin,
direct it. Didn't
can
direct
you go to his producing
American
credits?
Graffiti.
Because I want people to see.
we wouldn't
Just
have
go-
Mel's without American.
sort of
Harry and the
fine.
Hendersons.
So go,
Fuck yeah,
go
Made
back.
me cry.
I
Tiny
believe-
Toons Adventures.
Fievel's American Tales, the TV
The
series.
Flintstones.
I'm not, if
Steven
I'm not
Spielberg.
mistaken, he executive produced Back to the Future, right? Wasn't he one of the people
Bob Gale and
responsible?
him.
Yeah,
Oh,
so it was
really?
Bob Gale. Yeah, I think I think Zemeckis was one of his guys too.
Oh yeah.
And so I think you lose out on Back to the Future as well if you don't get Steven Spielberg.
See, I feel like this
there
argument
you go.
kind of falls
I'm just saying-
apart.
I'm
That's
right,
a
saying-
TV series.
No, the executive producer.
Oh, okay.
I don't
Yeah.
know what an executive producer
No one does. It is different.
He's just a person responsible. He puts his name on.
I
it
mean,
and gets
Land
the movie
Before
made.
Time's
Alright,
here.
so-
and
Kevin,
that
you're
again
the
wins
executive
everything.
producer of Kind of Funny. So imagine
Interspace,
if you didn't
Harry and the
exist.
Hendersons, Who Framed Roger
Am I
Rabbit?
though?
Like these
Am
are
I
all
an
movies that
executive
he
producer?
touched.
I don't think I am.
Tummy Trouble.
I think I'm more like a
Hell yeah.
technical director.
Joe versus the Volcano.
Dad.
I love that movie.
This list has only reinforced the fact that it is still Star Wars for me. I still want Star Wars more than I want any of this shit.
I don't know that
Any of this
Any
shit.
of this.
No matter how good so many of these things
Back to
are.
the Future is one of my favorite movies of all time. I would rather have Star Wars.
Wow, you're fucking stupid.
Yep, it's true. But I'd rather have it.
Really?
Yeah. I'll tell you what. Up until we looked through this list, I was ready to say, ring ring, hey devil, you can take both these guys, but just make the DC cinematic universe good. And I would hang
that's
up.
not gonna happen.
Now, I didn't really do anything there. My
not gonna
soul
happen.
wasn't on the line or anything.
Why
but
do you know the devil's phone number?
it's Tyroot. The thing here, though, is like, yeah, Back to the Future. Back to the Future is perfect. We can't lose
great
Back to the Future. We can't lose a perfect movie that is Back
Again,
to
I'm
the
not
Future.
saying that he necessarily. I don't know what his involvement was, other than at that time he had the juice to get movies made, and I think he put Zemeckis in charge of that and did.
Yeah,
that.
being selfish, I like his movies better than I like Star Wars.
Interesting.
Just because that's more, I love Catch Me If You Can. You know what I mean? I love Jurassic Park. I love Tiny Toons. Like, I love that stuff. But I mean, like, I understand. I'm not saying I don't understand the cultural relevance of Star Wars, but think of it this way: maybe it's one of those deals where we give him up, but we retain the information and we just start Star Wars and we fix it. We write it the way it should be written.
Chewbacca the
You know what I mean? Us. We're right here at this
Greg
table.
Miller.
And we make sure
Star
Watto. We
Wars.
get rid of Jar Jars, but we make the Watto a little bit bigger. You know what I
I
mean?
forget that Watto was in more than one movie.
He was. He's in all, I think all.
He had a little hat.
The thing is, though, if you lose George, I mean, you do lose Star Wars. It's true. That's hard because Star Wars up against any one of the other franchises, you're like, no, Star Wars, right? I love Star Wars more than any one franchise, but Spielberg, God, oh man, that dude was like my youth.
It's true. This
I don't
was
know
more
who
my
I'd
youth
be.
than anything that Spielberg did.
Really?
We're lucky that this isn't real, and we can live in a world
And we have
where
both.
We have both.
all of them.
Yeah, we have both.
I don't know. That's a hard one.
Look at all the Star Wars.
That's a Sophie's
So much
choice for
Star
sure.
Wars.
Look at all of it. Oh, it's just beautiful.
Big head Star Wars, Force Awakens.
But it's also like that's my question though. Is like, has he done?
Tell you what,
are there all of these Star Wars is worth it? Do we need this much Star Wars?
I'll give you this. I'll trade you a Spielberg for a Nolan. I'd rather have Nolan than Spielberg.
Oh, sir.
Yep. I would rather
That's
have
taking
Nolan.
this argument up a notch.
I know. I'd rather
I have to
Nolan
bring in
than
some
Spielberg.
counsel for this.
The movies that he's made are consistently better than Spielberg's.
Dude, I don't know. This is hard.
Fuck.
This is really hard.
No.
They are.
Because,
They
I
are.
mean, Spielberg,
Every one of them.
loves
I don't
Jurassic
know.
Park.
I will put up Saving Private Ryan against any Nolan film.
You're out of your mind. Dunkirk is, I think. No. Dunkirk is
Do not
better than.
don't finish
I
that
think it
sentence.
is.
Don't finish
I think
that
it
fucking
is.
sentence. Drink on a little cry. Dunkirk will not be remembered with anywhere close to the reverence that Saving Private Ryan.
Oh, that's
will.
because it started a genre. But regardless, I think Dunkirk's a better film.
It defined a genre first, started a genre, and also it puts you in that fucking setting
It
so much more
restarted
than
a genre,
anything
I wanna
else.
say.
And maybe it restarted a genre.
You know, the war movies have always existed, but
War
it
movies
brought
have,
them
but this
back
was
in
the
this-
hyper
yeah.
realistic war movie. This was the hey, I actually want you to feel
that's
this
not a
fucking
genre.
war movie, right? Fair.
Nolan made Batman good.
I would say also the
No,
best superhero
Tim
movie
Burton
of all
made
time.
Batman good, and they
That's-
fucked him up.
I know, this
They
is
fucked him over,
100%
sir.
wrong.
They gave him the first two.
we
Everyone said
go.
this
Whoa.
is fantastic,
Correct.
and that
Oh.
was it. I love Nolan, but you can't. I would not trade Nolan for Spielberg.
I would.
Did we ever watch
I wouldn't
the
do it.
Prestige? Did anybody ever watch
I
Prestige?
love Prestige.
Prestige is
Okay.
amazing. You
That's
should
a
watch
great
it.
movie.
It's a great movie.
Not
That's
to be
the one
confused with
where-
Illusionist.
No,
And
yeah,
people
that's
like
the
to hate
bad
on
one.
Inception.
Prestige
It's like,
was-
to be
Inception's
cool.
an amazing film.
Inception's
Just
fucking
watch it. I
amazing.
just watched it.
Fucking amazing.
Inception?
And yeah,
Awesome.
Hugh
Inception's
Jackman.
awesome.
But it's cool to hate on.
Interstellar? Great.
I love
Interstellar,
Interstellar.
very good.
Murph!
Insomnia, not that great.
No,
Never
You
saw
guys watch
Insomnia.
Memento was
It's
good.
boring.
Though. Memento
Boring.
was good.
The Memento's fantastic.
Fantastic.
An amazing movie.
Is
Memento
Insomnia the one with
was
Robin
good.
Williams?
Yeah.
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 And
I
Al
was-
Pacino, I believe.
Yep.
Yeah. We watched that in
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, I did see
Fell
this
asleep.
movie.
Dunkirk
Fell asleep.
Dunkirk to me was an experience, and once I've had it, I don't need to go back and
I,
revisit
went,
it.
I saw
I've
it.
seen
I saw
Saving
it
Private
twice.
Ryan
I saw
like
it-
10
I think I
times.
saw it within 3 days of each other, and the movie is, it is practically, it's basically perfect. It's a perfect film.
Minus the fact that there's no plot.
He wrote Man of
No
Steel.
plot. It's about Dunkirk. Historical. It's historical significance.
It's
Saving
hugely
Private Ryan's
historical.
not even historical.
It's hugely historical, especially that kid that gets knocked out and dies. I'm sure he was a real character for no fucking reason. He was in the movie. Why was he in the movie?
Spoilers,
Have you
dude.
seen it?
No, I haven't.
Spoilers.
Well, you're not gonna.
haven't
Tim,
seen it.
Dunkirk's not a Tim movie. This is not a Tim.
I don't
ass
know.
movie.
Nolan's or Tim movies, man.
This is different.
You're gonna love
It's
it.
beautiful, but it's.
I mean, I was
I would
nostalgic
put
because we had too much
Dunkirk
shit
more as an
going
art
on.
film than it is an actual film.
You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it.
Like
So
Interstellar has
Christopher
to do with like
Nolan
quantum
wrote
mechanics. This
Man
one's
of
just like.
Steel, is this correct?
Well, no, it'd say written if
It's
you
Tom
did.
Hardy going
Story.
from
It's a story. So he was just like, oh, it should be Superman.
Fly around.
I love Tom Hardy.
What? Well, he started on Man of Steel and then went off of it.
He was the
because
godfather of the whatever for a while. Yeah.
It's
Whatever.
actually too bad that he should have.
He's producer. Oh no,
Should've
was he?
been.
100%. Yeah. No, 100%.
Is he not a producer, Man of Steel?
Yeah, no, I think he was.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
But obviously Zack Snyder.
Also had story credit.
Yeah.
Now, Zack Snyder versus Spielberg.
That's a no-brainer.
that is no.
No one would. Yeah, there's 50. There's. I would trade like 5 or 6 directors currently working right now for Spielberg. I would just gladly be like, take them out of the equation, sir.
What's the movie with the girls?
Not Suicide Squad.
Break.
No.
I like where your heads
Sucker
are at.
Punch.
Sucker Punch. Thank you.
Oh,
You tell me
man.
Not
Sucker
very
Punch,
good.
you wouldn't take that
Not
over.
very good.
What a
I've
disappointing
watched
movie.
approximately 5 minutes of Sucker Punch.
I watched the whole
so
film.
bad.
and I was
I
like,
watched
I
the whole
can't.
film too.
I'm sorry.
film.
And man,
I kept
so much
hoping it was
potential
gonna
for it
get
to be
better.
fucking cool, and oh, they
No, it was bad.
blew it,
It was really
so
bad.
hard.
Good visuals.
Good visuals, great visuals.
Tim,
Yes.
what's your topic?
Bruce, I want to talk to you about the Let's Play family. Because
Okay.
here's the thing. There's a lot of times on the Reddit or the Facebook group, whenever we do events, we recently did the Let's Play reunion
Yeah.
and whatnot and all that. And a lot of people are like, oh, cool. Like, I'm familiar with Funhouse, or I'm familiar with Achievement Hunter, or I'm familiar with Couch Up or whatever. But like, feel there's always questions of who are these people and how do they differ? And what do they do? And I feel like you are a good person to kind of have on to introduce the kind of funny fans.
You do pay attention. Definitely.
You watch the content.
I do pay
You watch
attention.
people's
I do
content.
watch the content. So you want me to describe the groups?
And I
individually?
want your kind of take on what the groups do different from
Do you
each
want
other.
me to describe them first, and then he can tell me how wrong I am about them?
You know what? Yes. Go, Nick.
Why don't you
Go.
start with? Hold on.
do I
Let's
start
start
with?
with kind of funny.
Let's start with kind of funny. Kind of funny are
In like 3 or 4 sentences.
a bunch of dipshit knuckleheads that probably should have stayed where they were.
Okay, so
let's be honest.
I think he's
Let's be
totally
honest.
wrong. I think you guys are the more of the industry standard of video games. I think we come to you for the most inside video games knowledge as well as personality. That's the way I've always looked at you guys. I look at you guys as sort of probably the best editorial voice for video games that you can have in the Let's Play family.
Nick
That's
Scarpino.
lots
mean-
and lots of personality, which I appreciate because
should
a
have
lot of the times if you're at an IGN or if you're at a GameSpot or whatever, you sort of have to tone it down a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
and you guys don't have to do that because you're your own group. And that's the way I've looked at it. I think there's the amount of video game knowledge in this room blows my mind. So that's why I've always looked at you guys that way.
Thank you. That means a lot.
Bruce says when he's right, he's right. He was wrong about Dunkirk.
No, right.
But spot on about us. Sorry. What's the next group?
Cow Chop.
Cow Chop used to be part of the Creatures, broke off.
True.
And now I don't know any of their names.
Nice.
And I'm scared of them.
Okay, all right. So what they are?
They do look like the rough. They look like the
look
biker
tough.
gang from Sons of Anarchy.
scary.
When we see them, we're like, all right, see,
They are
don't
tough
look him in the
and
eye.
they
Don't
are-
look him in the eye.
I feel like they could steal Cool Greg at any moment.
They're tough and scary,
he
and they would
blend
love
in.
to have Cool Greg. They are the live action. They're the Jackass of the Let's Play family.
Oh.
100% because they play video games and they're very very funny. Alex and James and Brett are just like funny dudes, but they're fantastic at the live stunts. They're fantastic at the stuff that like you're just like, oh, like it's really crazy. You saw Jackass do, and then you'd see another Jackass stunt that was even fucking crazier. Cow Chop's really good at that.
Okay.
They're really really good at that stuff. So and also
Sounds like Nick's nightmare.
it probably is.
I'm very paranoid, and I'm
don't
the
like
one that has
pranks.
to do the liability insurance, and I don't like people. I don't like pranks because I feel like that they're just inherently negative.
number
I don't
3,
like
don't
negative
fuck with
things.
me.
Well,
Don't
so
fuck
they're
with
not
me.
necessarily pranks.
fuck with
It's just like Jackass where they prank each other.
Yeah,
So
but
they're not pranking like innocent people.
Yeah, I know. I just feel like that, that environment is always just kind of toxic. Like, or
So-
You can't spin it for Nick because I had this great idea for a prank.
Okay.
Right, but it wouldn't happen. But it would be that if we got a car dealership or a car sponsor, we got a new car and we're going to give it to Nick. What I wanted to do was we drive 2 different cars to Outback Steakhouse for lunch one day, and we have cameras set up, of course. And we get there, and then as soon as Nick shuts his door and locks it, I just throw a brick through his windshield.
I mean, it's just.
And then he's like, "What?" I'm like, "But we got you a new car." And like, I told him this, and he's like, "I wouldn't like that."
See, Catch Up would do that, but then they'd light it on fire.
Yeah.
And then at the end, be like, "We got you a new car," and they'd roll it up, and it would be even worse than the car that they just destroyed.
yeah, that just sounds
That's
horrible.
That's why.
That sounds like a nightmare.
That's why. Also, they're
my God.
much nicer and much friendlier than you think they are. You
Okay.
should definitely go out.
We're
drinking
scared
with
of
because
them.
they're really great dudes.
Yeah, we're
really
terrified
great
of them.
guys. All right, let's do Sugar Pine 7.
Sugar Pine
There's
7.
7 of them.
There's
Steven Suptic's there.
True.
Elliot Morgan just hangs around for no reason.
He's an actor in one of their things, but yeah.
Sure, whatever. I know Elliot Morgan, right? He hasn't acted a day in his life.
I mean, he acted in the woods, but go ahead.
I mean, he acts like he likes me every time he sees me. Sugar Pine 7 are like the new indie filmmakers of online media, but they don't call it film anymore because it's film passe. We don't really know. You know, we don't want to offend people by calling it film. We don't film things. We tape it. I don't know. Is tape weird? That's Sugar Pine 7, and they're funny as fuck.
You call him Sugar Fine 7
Sugar
there?
Pine 7. No, but I always get what's his butt's name wrong.
Steven?
Kib.
Kib.
You got it, actually.
You got it
nailed
that time.
Because you told me his real name starts with a C.
It does. Clayton, yeah.
Yeah, Clayton. Kib.
So
He's funny
that's
as
the
fuck.
I think you got the closest there for
Okay.
Sugar Pine. I think so. They're turning into what they're doing is like they're changing the way vlogs work. I think
They're turning it on its ear,
like
sort of on
and,
its
kind
side.
of, and like we've seen it a lot done with Arrested Development. And if you watch Nathan For You is another really good example of kind of what they do. But they're unfortunately, guys, they're the future of what we're doing.
So
Yeah,
true.
they're better than us.
So they're better. I don't know if they're better than us yet, but they're gonna get there.
I've seen approximately 10 minutes of their work, and I was
better
like,
than us.
after first,
Oh, really?
after
Already?
the first 30 seconds, cumulative, because I don't watch things. I don't watch anything. And I've seen 30 seconds. I saw Tim was like, Nick, you gotta come watch this, and he has to tell me like 5-6 times before I finally give in my ego and go watch something that's I know is gonna be better than me. And I watched 30 seconds. I was like, yeah, these guys are fucking way better than I am. They're way better than
So
we
one
are.
thing that they
They're
have,
so fucking funny.
one thing that a lot of people don't realize that they have on us is that their content is all very, very short and bite-sized and easy to watch. It's like 5 to 7 minutes. And that's something that I always wanted to do with Inside Gaming when we first started was like we would make our videos 3.5 minutes and we'd just boil it down to the funniest possible thing. So it's really easy to watch. Really, really easy.
On a real note, you say they're the future, but YouTube speaks to the opposite of that, right? Where YouTube's trying to incentivize people to make longer form content and more things like that.
But they want Sugar Pine 7 quality content.
Yeah, they do want that. Oh, that's interesting. That's true. So you're saying if they can find a way
to make a 22-minute show.
A 22-minute show like that, you think they'd be incentivized by YouTube? Like that would be something that YouTube Red would potentially be looking for.
Which is kind of like The Woods, which is what they did with their short film.
Yeah, that's cool. Very
so,
cool.
yeah. So like I don't know. They're also fantastic guys. They're all on Adderall all the time. So remember that when you go, they're always constantly everybody's improvising all the time.
They do. I like that. I like how they keep that energy up.
Let's just talk about something for a second.
Yeah.
Tim and Andy were worried that Kib and I one of us would die if we came together. They said that you guys are either going to love each other or try to one up each other so much that
each other up
we're just because someone's going
love
through
that.
a plate glass window. And
It's
I
gonna be
would
him.
like to tell people, in all honesty, we had a lovely time hanging out with
did.
each other. We got to know each other.
did.
We bonded.
They're great. He's a great dude.
He was great.
Kib's great.
They didn't bring swim trunks over. They came in their underwear, so I know what the outline of his penis looks like.
James got
There's
a good
lots
dick.
of stuff. Oh, James got big. Fucking thing's a hog.
He is a great kisser. Kevin did kiss James at some point.
Like that you can say that.
All right. How about Achievement Hunter?
Oh,
Michael Jones and friends.
They're fucking crazy. They're just crazy. Stay
He's
away
the
from them.
Wolverine of the X-Men. You know?
I told you this the first time we did a Let's Play with them. They're the most intimidating group to do Let's Plays with. Not because they're like mean or intimidating, like personality wise. It's just they have such a good rapport with each other that it's like trying to cross a fucking freeway.
Yeah.
With cars going 100 miles an hour. You're like, I don't know how to get in this. And like Greg is great because Greg is just a fucking Mack truck that's going his own direction no matter what.
What's up? I'm coming in, Jeff. Open your asshole.
Like, Greg, you're in the HR department. Stop saying that. But those guys are. I mean, they're on a different level, man. They have an energy that's fucking like forged in the heart of a dying star.
Yeah.
They're the Mjolnir of the Let's Play.
I call them the Godfathers. They're the ones that kind of started this whole deal. So it's always the utmost respect.
They had the
to them.
foresight to actually get Let's Play.
Yes.
Yeah, come on.
Well, that's
ridiculous.
They started the genre. I mean, like they're the Godfathers, and that's the way I see them. And then Funhouse.
Oh, Funhouse. Joe, those guys do a lot of cocaine. Just a lot of cocaine.
We don't do any cocaine.
No. Who am I thinking of?
I don't know.
Game Attack.
I mean, Game
No,
Attack.
you guys are to me like. I think we've hung out with you. Aside from the Achievement Hunter guys, we probably spent most amount of time with you guys, right?
Sure, probably.
I'm blown away by your guys like your chops as far as comedic timing goes. And I gave that I talked to James and Elise when I was down there. Let's Play FM. I was like, dude, the stuff that you guys do is so fucking fun and cool. And like when you show you showed the show the
Talking Stockings.
yeah.
Yeah.
And you showed the new episode of the panel, and I was like, oh, God, they're going to show a video. And within 5 seconds, I was like, this is really fucking funny.
Oh, good.
Like, you guys have such a good improv style that I think as much as Steven's content is the future, I think what you guys are doing is on another level, too. I think what you guys are doing is the future of online media because you're using the medium to its best possible outcome.
Well,
right?
thank you. You don't have to suck my dick anymore. I really appreciate that. That's very, very nice of you.
First off, I never have to suck anyone's dick.
That's true. You don't have to.
Nick Scarpino doesn't have to
he just
suck
wants
dick.
to.
He just does it.
He likes
He
it.
loves it.
So then,
He
what
likes the
about
taste of it.
Game Attack?
Who? I was waiting all fucking topic.
Yeah.
All topic for that.
What about-
You proud of me? Was that pride?
Oh yeah, it was a little bit of both.
What
But
about Kraken?
Well,
I'm just trying to remember every. I'm trying
we've
to mention
brought
everyone
Game
that's in
Attack
there,
a lot
man.
of panels. There's a feud. That's the joke. If you didn't know.
Yeah, Game Attack. Game Attack.
No, you can move on. I just wanted somebody out there's like, man, they really hate Game Attack. No, it's all we
no,
do.
It's the joke. Kraken I know the least about, but we spent some
He was
time with
fun.
him. He seems a fucking cool guy.
He's
I know
really
Steven
smart.
Septic stole his shoes, and that's fucked up.
That is true. That's right. Gave him back, but yeah.
Kraken's really, really smart.
Very
If
smart.
you talk to him about like business stuff and
Right.
like that, he's very, very smart.
And then the rest of the Let's Play family, there is JT Machinima and Noah J, of which I don't know.
I don't know anything about
Noah
JT
J-
Machinima makes rap music.
Yeah, and also extremely talented. Those guys are very, very talented. I don't know enough about them. We're going to collaborate with them soon.
Cool.
And then Noah J is just like blowing up. Like,
Yeah?
he's fucking huge, and he has been over the last couple of years. He's nailed his audience, and then he's just growing it. Like amazing. He's a really, really smart dude. It's like what, 21, 20, 20 years old.
Fucking bastard.
I know, right?
Is Landed in Let's Play?
Oh, and then there's Lannon. Yeah, laser beam.
Yeah.
I fucking love that son of a bitch.
Dude, he's great.
He's fun. I like him.
He's really great. I
always loan him my battery for his phone to charge off of at events, and then I gotta walk around because it's always at parties and we're both drunk, and I'm like, don't fucking leave with that. I need that. So I was like, I won't, mate. I don't know. I can't do it.
This is putting you on the spot because I don't know. Like, I don't know if you can think so fast to do this.
I'll do my best.
But if you had to, like, all of this goes under. You had to create one super group that you think their chemistry would be awesome between all the different people in the groups.
Interesting.
What would be the like Avengers?
Maybe not even a super group. Maybe just like who do you? If we all came together and we're like, cool, we're all gonna make content together. Who do you partition off?
Groups where?
Who goes where?
Well, I mean, like
clearly, I'm an all-star.
So, well, here's what I would love to do, and I'm sure that Lewis has talked about this too. Is that we put like everybody moves to Los Angeles. I know you guys want to move.
Yes, please.
Everybody moves to Los Angeles. We get a giant building, and then we block off parts of this building. We all get to make our own content, but then we're all within striking distance of each other.
That'd be awesome.
So
That'd be so fun.
And it would be great because then if, like, for example, you went out of town, then it'd be like, hey, we need Bruce over there fill in for Nick, or Greg comes and fills in for Adam, or whatever else. It would be fantastic. I think breaking off people into that building, you do Cow Chop and Achievement Hunter kind of close to each other. I think you probably do. Let's see. I'd say Funhouse and Kind of Funny.
Yeah.
I think we'd have a great
It's the
time.
Inside Gaming IGN. Like, there's like a thing
I think
there.
Funhouse and Kind of Funny, and then you like have Sugar Pine.
Outside.
You should
a box full of vape.
Sugar Pine, Sugar Pine, Kraken, Noah J, and Laserbeam. Those guys are all sort of in the middle of the building. Because I don't know. I think it would be like you push the older guys out and you put the younger guys in the middle there.
In their playpen.
It would be fucking awesome. It would be so fucking
fun.
awesome.
Can we do floors instead though, and then have a fire pole?
Yes.
Like, oh, we got to come down to the funhouse floor. Yeah. Climb the
fire
pole.
Yeah, you gotta climb that. That's how we stay skinny.
Climb that fucking pole, Cam. You know what it's all about.
Maybe we can get one of those conveyor belts like they have with skiing, ski slopes where you just like you grab onto it and it just kind of pulls you up.
I've never seen it. I mean, I know like a hook. Is
Yeah,
what
with ski on some ski slopes, like they don't have lifts. Like you don't have to go all if it's a shorter jaunt down the hill. You kind of ski up to it and you can like hold on to the thing.
Oh, okay, yeah,
It
I've
just
seen
kind
that.
of pulls you up. The
Okay,
hill.
I know what you're talking about.
Like on the bunny slopes. That's what I do.
All right.
I don't hurt myself.
Before we go, Nick, at the beginning of the show, before we went live,
Yeah.
you said you got in an altercation at the car wash. I want to hear the story real quick before we sign off.
Did we do all the topics?
Yeah, that was four. That was four topics.
That one
That was a
went
really
fast.
good episode.
That
Yeah,
was a great episode.
Good job.
Oh,
you got a
I didn't
future.
do anything. Thank you.
Fuck you, man.
Oh, okay.
I go to the same car wash every time, right? It's the Divisadero car wash over there on Divisadero. It's
Shout out to
aptly
them.
named, right?
What up, Sal? Give him some more coupons, you know?
So I go there, but it's abnormally hot. And so there's a big awning, like a big I don't know what the fuck they call it, relief, whatever, where you can park your car and it's like shady, right? So obviously they're trying to get all the cars into that because they don't want the people working there to have to work out in the beating sun. I get that. Blacktop, it's hot as fuck, right? Yeah. So they park my car in a way that they've never parked it before. Usually they park it going like this way, but they parked it going horizontal or perpendicular rather to where they normally park it. And I'm like, all right, cool. So I get my car back. Everything looks great, right? But I'm thinking that I look forward. There's a car parked this way. My car is parked perpendicular to it. Then there's one that they pulled up right behind me. So I'm like, I can't get around them, and I've never gone out that way anyway. I know the exit that I usually use is this way because that's the normal flow, right? So I start to pull my car out. Someone slams on my window, and he's like, you can't go that way. All the cars are parked this way for a reason. And I'm like, okay, but normally, and it was the inclusion of the word normally that got me into an argument with this gentleman because he was like, he literally went, I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm normally used to pulling out that way. And I didn't say it that nice. And he goes, yeah, but we parked the cars this way for a reason. And I'm like, well, how the fuck am I supposed to know that? I thought you just put all the cars in there because you didn't want your people working in the sun. And he goes, fine, then you can pull it out that way if you want. And I'm like, well, then I will. And then I continued to argue with myself in the car as I was making the world's big, 50-point turn. Right? And then I pulled out and almost hit a double-decker bus. Where the double-decker bus came from, I don't know, because this is not the neighborhood that tourists go to. You know those stupid ones?
Yeah, we know.
And I was just like, he just kind of threw a little bit of attitude at me, and I was like, I wasn't ready for that. I'm sorry, I'm at the car wash. You know, Joey knows I go to the car wash. I like to sit down and read on my small phone the news.
How does Joey know this? What is that? Why does Joey get?
We talked about this before the show.
Oh, okay.
To talk about it. So, if he's listening, I apologize if I hit you with attitude, but you got me first, dog. You got me first.
If you didn't know, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Game Over Greggy Show. Each and every week, 4, sometimes 5 best friends gather on this table, each bringing a random topic discussion for your amusement. If you like that, head over to patreon.com/kindafunny, where a couple of bucks get you each and every episode early and get you a bunch of other exclusive perks and goodies. What are you?
How come where your belly meets your pants is not sopping wet like mine?
I'm holding it in my back. That's where the wet is. The sweat is.
I'm just saturated.
Yeah, the behind the knees.
stinky.
I got the damp knees. You never get that thing?
I'm getting the beefy smell.
yeah, we got the
I'm getting that like beefy enchilada
Thanks for
Taco
putting
Bell
up
smell
with
right now.
If you got no bucks across the way, no big deal. You can go to youtube.com/kindafunny day by day, topic by topic. The entire show posts until it goes up as one big video in MP3 the following Friday. Bruce, thank you for hanging out with us for so long.
This has been fantastic.
You did
This has been
3
great.
shows with
This
us
has been
today.
fantastic.
Thank
Yeah.
you. He's a professional, man.
He
I'm
is a
so
professional.
glad that I came up there.
We got to come down and see you now.
Anytime.
Okay.
Anytime. The invite is always open.
Love to.
Everybody check out Funhouse, but not more than you check us out, and then bring their people back here too.
Absolutely. Why don't you just watch both?
Exactly, yeah. Well, you should say that on your shows about us.
We will when you guys are on.
All right, cool. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, it's been our pleasure to serve you. Thanks for watching the Game Over Greggy Show, everybody. Click here to subscribe to us. Click here to subscribe to us on Patreon. This one was for YouTube, sorry. The YouTube one costs you nothing. You're already on YouTube. You probably have a YouTube account. Just click the freaking subscribe button for us, will you? Or you know what's going to happen? I'm going to come over there in these pants and kick your ass. That's right. I know they're not my normal jeans because I couldn't find my normal jeans. But again, another one of our sponsors, which I won't name because they didn't pay for this, did it. It was Stitch Fix. Again, I pay for them out of pocket too. Here's the thing, Kevin. All right, I'll let you know. Here's the thing, Kevin. People, oh man, ads are bad. Sure, ads can be annoying, but are ads helpful? Helpful to me, because I keep using all the products they say. Movement sunglasses? I'm like, yeah, these things are great. Jen wants a pair now.
You using our codes?
Well, yeah, no. Well, I couldn't use it first. The Blue Apron one, good for your first meal. So I'm paying out of my pocket now for that one. Stitch Fix, I think good for my first order. Paying out of pocket for that one now. When I get Jen's glasses, yeah, I'm gonna use that for movement glasses. Yeah, okay. Oh, click here for other shit. I don't know.